Hey, I guess I'm not the only one who's psychic. Somebody mentioned Mothra, Luminous Brood Moth here, and we called it to the front of the pack, and then there it is. I like that. I'm pretty sure we're going to be taking it. It could be an interesting choice with Zenith Flare, but unless there was two rares in the pack, like, it's not going to be a hard choice. Because, I mean, it is S tier, it is totally broken. And it's that or what? What's the next best card in this whole pack? Back for More, it's pretty splashable, it's powerful. Farfinder's a decent first pick because it's colorless. I mean, obviously this is Broodmoth by miles and miles and miles. Okay, smaller Venice. You want the packs, not me. Alright, so let's see. Whoa, some subscriptions that I missed while I was eating some soup there. Thank you, Nolan, if I missed it. And thank you, Reed Snake. Appreciate the subscription. Thanks to everybody who supports the stream. So, the best only white card in the pack is Pacifism. I think I would take that over Fight as 1, pick 2. Although I actually think it's pretty close. Fight as 1 is quite the trick. Thundermane is definitely better than Pacifism. Red-White Cycling still the best archetype in the format. Sometimes it's overdrafted in your pod, sometimes it's not. Doesn't seem like too big a sacrifice to take it over Pacifism here. We also kind of like the idea of playing a lot of cycling cards in a deck with a mythic rare like this, because that means we'll just have our rare more often if we're playing 10 cards that basically are just 1 mana draw card. So let's take Thundermane. I think it's a pretty clear second choice over Pacifism, following up Broodmoth. And then we will see what's in the next pack. It's not like we open Zenith Rare here. I mean, Zenith Flare. We're certainly not looking that hard at cycling. Like, if this pack just has a good black removal spell as the best card in the pack, we'll gladly draft black-white, play our Broodmoth, not play our Thundermane. It's not particularly important. That said, it's a pretty weak pack overall. Easy Prey is a lot worse than it looks. I've talked plenty of times in Limited about how you don't really care that much about killing their 2-drops. You're just hoping to do something serviceable. Well, this card doesn't kill even 3-drops, only 2-drops. It's not a very good Magic card. Prickly Marmoset goes pretty well in the red-white cycling deck. It's not like an exciting third pick. It's about acceptable as a third pick for that deck. But if we don't take Prickly Marmoset, I mean, the best card in the pack is probably Ram Through. I don't love green-white. We did get a Thundermane. I mean, Weaponize is good with Broodmoth, but that's kind of a win-more combo. I'm not really worried about how I'm winning when my Broodmoth is out and living. I think this is just a pretty clear Marmoset. I think the best card in the pack is Ram Through, but we're not in green yet. We do have a red-white cycling card. I think it's a pretty clear Marmoset there. So the interesting thing here is Zerda is quite good in the cycling deck, and it's not that hard to put in the companion slot. You can't play a few cards like Marmoset and Snare Tactician, but you also wouldn't be able to play Broodmoth. Broodmoth here doesn't have an activated ability. So if we take Zerda, we can play Zerda. It's a fine card, a 3-mana 3/3 that makes cycling cost 1 instead of 2 or whatever. But it's got to go in our main. It's not going to go in the companion slot, forcing us to bench all of these cards, right? I mean, Stinger, all the cycling cards have an activated ability, so you can play Zerda in that deck. I don't think we're going to do it after when we have 3 creatures already, including a totally broken Mythic. So I think there's almost no shot we're going to play Zerda in the companion slot. But that's not to say Zerda's not a good main deck card. It's a 3-mana 3/3 that makes all your cycling cost 1, lowers the cost of your abilities, makes creatures unable to block. I mean, this is a good card. Not a broken rare. Not something incredible. But it's a fine card to put in your main deck. Thank you, Saxtrical. Appreciate the 100-bit donation. Thank you for the support. And yeah, now it's a pretty easy Moloch. I mean, Pacifism is not far behind Moloch in a red-white cycling deck, but it is behind it. I'm not planning to do ads and chats today. For anybody who's not from South Florida, it was actually pouring yesterday. My mom wanted to do a barbecue. She bought food for it and everything for Memorial Day, but then she couldn't barbecue because it was pouring rain. Then it literally rained like all day yesterday, as Dangle or any of the other South Florida peeps can tell you. So she's actually going to cook tonight. So after the stream, I'm going to go over to my mom's house for some barbecue, celebrate Memorial Day a day late. So definitely no ads and chats. I mean, I'm not taking off early for it or anything. We're going to do the whole normal, just the normal stream, 3 drafts, however long it takes, but no ads and chats tonight. Well done, Dangle. You're a warrior. It was very rainy yesterday. We actually had flash flood warnings, and it does not flood that easy here. And we had flash flood warnings until about 7:30 in Broward County. Okay, so none of these cards look particularly good to me. Keensight Mentor will cost 1 to activate if we have Zerda out. I don't even think I'd play it right now, but we might end up with cycling cards. Otherwise, it's Blade Banish. I mean, it's a really late ram through, but I think we're pretty committed to red-white. Thank you, Gurmag Pineapple. I like pineapple, just not on pizza. I hope you didn't name yourself after your favorite pizza topping, but I appreciate your subscription regardless. Even if you do have bad taste in pizza, you have good taste in streams. Thank you for supporting mine. Okay, I don't think these cards matter. No way we can play this ultimatum. Like I said, if you look at our cards, red, white, gold cards, and red and white cards, and cycling cards, we're pretty committed here. Just grab a 2-mana cycling on Color Trick. This is certainly playable if we are creature heavy, which we are, so. Well, now there's no red-white cycling cards, and Mythos is really good in blue-red. Wingspan Mentor is really good. I didn't feel like we saw a ton of blue this pack. I mean, I guess I'm going to take this Mythos just because, I mean, we might go blue-red or blue-white. I mean, I'm not planning to, but there's no red or white cards. There's not even like a cycler. It's not like there's like a 1-mana cycler or anything. There's nothing for us. So we'll take it and see what's in the next pack. Anti-pineapple pizza? Alright, that's what's up. And I like pineapple, too. Like, I'll gladly buy some sliced pineapple or something. I just don't think it's good on pizza. Respect. Alright, let's see. Gust of Wind, I guess. Again, we're still trying to play red-white, but if we go into somewhere else, it's probably going to be blue. Yeah, I don't really know how to slice things. I agree it is expensive. It doesn't have to be sliced nice. Like, I'll buy chunks or whatever. That's not something to brag about, Six Nation. Alright, so now there's Of One Mind, Windscarred Crag. If we go blue-red or blue-white, we're definitely going to want to splash, I think. So I'm going to grab the Crag. I mean, if we go blue-red spells, we lose the Broodmoth, but we haven't seen much white. But, I mean, Broodmoth's our best card. If we go blue-white, we don't lose much. We could splash Moloch. It cycles for colorless. Splash Thundermane if we have cyclers. I mean, this pack went kind of weird. I mean, our deck is fine as a red-white deck, or, like, if we have to audible to blue-red or something, we will. I only really took those blue cards at the end of the pack because there were no red-white or cycling cards in those packs. Hey, thanks for resubscribing, Corey. Appreciate the support since day one of my stream, the full 17 months now. So let's see. There's really not much for red-white cycling in this pack either. Coordinated Charge is fine, and we are a little on the creature-heavy side. Thieving Otter's pretty good in blue-red. It's a card I like, or blue-white. Farfinder, if we splash, is a card we really want to pick up. Evolving Wilds can do that, too. Thank you for the subscription, Rodderthird. Appreciate everybody choosing to support my stream today. Thank you, Rodderthird. I think I will just take Farfinder, because we have Keensight Mentor. So we want Vigilance creatures, and there's a decent chance we'll want to do a splash. Okay, well, that's going to pretty much lock it in. We just opened the #1 card in the set for cycling and one of the top 5 cards in the set overall. The true mythic uncommon, Zenith Flare. Just got past it. We didn't open it. That's not to say we can't splash. Like, we could still play blue-white splash red for Zenith Flare. Like, we have Farfinder and Windscarred Crag. It's a really easy card to splash. Or blue-red light splash white for Zenith Flare. But we're certainly going to be doing a cycling thing now. We don't really have a lot of cyclers, though. And we're not seeing a ton of cycling cards. I think it's just random. Like, we just got past Zenith Flare. Clearly, the person passing us isn't cycling. This pack has 0 cycling cards in it. I think it's just coincidence. So, if we splash, we definitely want this land. I agree. I'm pretty sure, though, we're not going to splash now, right? Like, blue-red spells was an option. Blue-white was an option. But, I mean, it doesn't look like we really want to splash. We could take the land. I think Cathartic Reunion will be the best if we do go cycling. I think that's... And it's a good card in blue-red spells anyway. So I think Cathartic Reunion makes the most sense there. It's a sad third pick, but it's a good card in blue-red or in red-white cycling. Okay, easy Lava Serpent here. Even though it's a 2-mana cycler, it's a pretty good card in our deck. It will only cost 1 to cycle with Zerta. We want cycling cards. It's a nice finisher. It's just a good card overall. Now we can just pick up a nice 1-mana cycler. Not anything special, but it's on color. Once in a while you do cast it, although not very often. Okay, so it looks like the cycling stuff wasn't super open in pack 1, but was in pack 2. So we probably won't have as good a pack 3 as a pack 2. We'll most likely see more blue and green again, and less red and white. You can see that we're getting hit over the head with the cycling deck this pack, but pack 1 we didn't see much, and we started in that direction. So I feel like we're not going to have nearly as good a pack 3 as we are pack 2 unless we get really lucky. But given we have Zenith Flare, Moloch, Thundermane, all this stuff, we're certainly going to play red-white cycling. Do we want the 1-mana cycler or the Marmoset? I like Marmosets, but we probably just want the 1-mana cycler. We have Zenith Flare. We want to prioritize cyclers more than cycling enablers at this point. Similar pick with the Wolverine and the Ambush. Again, if we needed the body, that would be different, but we have 2 good 3-drops. We have we have Thundermane, we have Stinger, and then most importantly, we have Flare. We could always cast Lava Serpent, Vantasaur, and Moloch. I think what we really want are these cheap cyclers. Nothing for us in this pack, so I'll grab the land just in case we end up wanting to splash something green. You never know. There's that one Dino 5-mana 6/6 trample rare that's double red and single green. We have Farfinder. So in the event that we do open that 6/6 Dino rare, now we have a red-green duel to help splash it. Coordinated Charge here, pretty good cycle card. Doubt we're going to main Blade Banish unless we end up short, but it's the best card for us. This is best of 3. New England Clam Chowder is my second favorite soup. Mushroom is my favorite. Alright, let's see what's here. We definitely could do Runus Ultimatum. It's triple white, double red, double black. We have Farfinder. We could certainly do a light black splash and play this card in our deck. Hey, thanks Limestone, something we have a lot of in South Florida. Appreciate that subscription. Aside from the Ultimatum, what would we take? Not much. It's not even really a cycler or anything. There's like a crystal. Okay, Ultimatum it is. I would take a Dranith Stinger or something of that quality over the Ultimatum rather than splash a third color. But it's not that hard to splash in the cycling deck. A lot of your cards cost colorless to cycle. And at the end of the day, like I said, I would take a Dranet Stinger or something like that over the Ultimatum here. But the Ultimatum is a really good card in this deck. We can cycle and hit our land drops and dig it up. And it wasn't over anything, so it was pretty much a straightforward free roll type pick because we literally took it over nothing. I have no idea what I would even take out of that pack. I would definitely be interested. Mill call. Okay, taking a look at this pack, there's a few cards that interest us. There's a 1-mana Cycler that's on color and a good card. There's a 3-mana removal spell that's pretty good, and there's a Cycling Land. I mean, the Cycling Land is red and white, and our splash color to help us cast Ultimatum if we play it turn 1 or something. So I think we just have to take this land, right? Flame Spell is good quality removal. Go for Blood is a nice 1-mana Cycler that you sometimes cast. But we're not hurting for playables. We have 18 that we're really happy to run. We're not necessarily looking to cut any of these cards. I'm not saying if we cut Keensight Mentor, Divine Arrow, it's a big deal, but we're not looking to cut. They're all fine. So we're here at the beginning of Pack 3 with 18 playables. How do we not take the all 3 color on land for our cycling deck? So nothing super exciting. I do want to pick up those duels if I can, but again, we just took a land. We do want to get our 1-mana Cyclers where we can. I think we just take Memory Leak. It's that or Lava Serpent. It's the 2-mana Cycler that we'll sometimes cast. It's the 1-mana Cycler that, well, we are going to play black, though, so we might cast Memory Leak sometimes. We have Stinger, Thundermane. The cycling cost matters a lot with Thundermane because it's 3-mana or 4-mana to shoot for 2. Matters a little with Marmoset. I think we'd rather have the 1-mana Cycler. Look at all the expensive stuff we already have to do. I'm not saying it's a problem. Look, these cards all cycle. We'll play 4 Lava Serpents in this deck. But I think we do already have plenty of likelihood to spend our mana in the late game. Moloch and then whatever spell we want to cast. Vantasaur, Serpent, Ultimatum. We can spend our mana. I think we're more interested in 1-mana Cyclers than we are 6-mana 5/5 split cards. Kudrow is busted, like S-tier totally busted in a humans deck. But as far as a splash, look, there's nothing wrong with splashing a 3-mana 3/3, but if it's not pumping your humans, what is it doing for you? So let's take a look at our creatures. We've got Stinger's human, Mentor's human. That's literally it in our whole deck. So it's not pumping anything. So I think we just take like a 2-mana Cycler that's a decent spell. We might cast it in some spots. Yeah, some cycling decks have a lot of humans. If we had, instead of 1 Stinger and no healers, if we had 3 healers, 2 Stingers, 2 Stair Tacticians, I mean, that card might have been really good for us. That's why I went and checked really quickly. Yeah, we can't do Omnises unless we're going to splash blue instead of black, because we already have Runus Ultimatum. And given we have the Triome, I don't think that's something we want to do. So I think this is Evolving Wilds or Pacifism. I'm kind of feeling Evolving Wilds. The Thin Out is nice. We do want the Tri-Land, sort of. We are splashing an Ultimatum here. So if I didn't have the Ultimatum, of course, I would take Pacifism over the Wilds. But I'm kind of feeling the Wilds there. Help us cast that Ultimatum. Oh yeah, real nice with Rescuer. Alright, if we're going to splash black, we can play a Blood Curdle. The cycling deck doesn't care about this kind of removal nearly as much as like an aggro deck that needs to remove a big blocker. But there's still nothing wrong with 4 mana kill a creature, and we're going to have plenty of black sources. Speaking of nothing wrong with kill a creature, now we can pick up a Pacifism. There's no cycling cards, but there's nothing wrong with these kind of quality removal spells like Pacifism and Blood Curdle. Yeah, some late blue-red spell stuff, black-white human stuff. Nothing really for us here. Nothing great for us, but if we do play any of these, I think it's going to be The good early blocker. It goes well with Keen Sight Mentor. So now we have to decide between a black-white land and a 2-mana cycler. Let's just check out our playables because we're towards the end of the draft. 1, 2, 3 lands. So this is 24, 16. We need a few more playables. The cycling deck doesn't want to play 16 lands, so we're going to grab Coordinated Charge. If I had a few more playables, I would have took the black-white duel there. Sorry for those bothered by eating. I'll be done with my soup in a second. So Zerd is certainly going to be in our main, but definitely not in our companion slot. We're not playing blue. 4, 8, 11, 14. That's probably about right. 3 swamps, plus the wilds and the triome. You dig up your cards. You're not casting this until you've seen over half your deck. The red-white duel means... because we need a lot more red and white than black, but we've got the red-white duel and the red-white-black and the wilds here. So that land actually looks about right to me. And 14 is most likely what we're going to run with Cathartic Reunion and Ultimatum. So we need one more playable. Oh, there's a 2-mana cycler that you're not unhappy to cast, chilling in our sideboard. We don't need Blade Banish. We already have some decent removal. Yeah, seems like a pretty clear Suffocating Fumes. This card is double black. And we have Blood Curdle, plus we have Memory Leak and Fumes. No, there's no reason not to run the Ultimatum, I don't think. It's a powerful late game. The early game mana cost is not big at all. Almost all the cyclers cycle for colorless. We might not be able to play like Thundermane on turn 2, but a lot of times you play it on turn 2, it just dies anyway. Oh, that's probably close. We could have considered Serval. Okay, it doesn't look pretty, but this hand is certainly fine. Go get a Plains, cast Serval. We can pacify something, and we can cycle and go find more lands and castable cards. I don't think 14 lands is that low. We just have a lot of cyclers, even if they're 2-mana cyclers. Dig through our deck. I think 14 is about right. Well... Altherus, I guess, didn't have land too. I mean, you know how this stream goes. This is, you know, I pay everyone to concede to me, so that was interesting. Okay, we haven't defeated any opponents yet, but we've defeated the New England Clam Chowder. It really didn't stand a chance. So let's see. Should we cycle this leak or probably cast it? Probably want to cast it against them. It's not like they're playing an aggro deck. They chose to draw. Plus, we can cast it pre-combat now and find out if they have Divine Arrow, so we know whether to attack with their Stinger or not. Red, green, white. So they can't cast any of these black cards yet. Can't cast anything, really. I mean, except Pacifism, and I don't care if they pacify my Stinger. I guess this is the scariest card. Okay, let's start by cycling the weaker card, see what we get. If we draw a land, I'll probably just reunion. I do want to make some more land drops, but I also just want to cycle through them and not end up flooding. Since we didn't draw a land, I'm not going to be reunioning. I'll just play Thundermane and play the land for now, I guess. Work our way up towards a 5/5. If they don't have Blade Banish up, that could be attacking for lethal. They're in a rough spot. The last thing you want to be doing is pacifying a creature like Thundermane. Certainly going to cycle rather than cast it. One less point of damage, but we draw another card, just working our way towards Serpent. Looking to hit that land drop. Still not there, but that's okay. Okay, I think now we'll just hit them for 5. I know they have Blade Banish, but they have to spend their turn doing it, and they already took the 5 damage. So not much to see here. We're just trying to dig up more threats. Moloch, Zenith Flare, Ultimatum, whatever. We don't really have a ton to do now, so might as well kill that Sedge Scorpion. I know they gain their life, but we gain some life too. The next time we draw a land, we can reunion away now our extra lands. If we draw Ultimatum, we just cast it for the win. It kills Pacifism too. Okay. Well, now I'll pacify the Coil Bug, get in some more damage. Probably not going to reunion away, the second best card in my deck. Alright, take it easy. Clearly, this opponent is not the world's best, but as somebody said, Magic is hard. So we know the Skybonder is going to block the Mothra. I don't think we need to cast this charge, so we can start by cycling. This is only spells, not abilities, so if I draw a 1-mana cycler, I can play the land, kill the Jubilant Skybonder here, and kill the opponent, right? I have to draw a 1-mana cycler. I don't even have enough mana for a 2-mana cycler. But I'm happy to cycle that anyway. Now we'll just reunion away the 2 lands, draw another 3 cards, look for that Ultimatum, that Zenith Flare, what have you. I don't think we swing out. Firstly, you never know what they're going to have, and we're in such a comfortable position if we just chill. We win the game on the spot with Flare or Ultimatum. And not only are we drawing 3 of 18 cards, a lot of the cards in our deck cycle, right? Alright, so now we can Curdle. Does that give us an attack? Not really. Oh, wait, with Menace it does. So, yeah, we do want to Curdle. And then if they don't have anything, they're dead, right? Huh? Did I put the menace? Oh, I put the menace counter on the wrong creature just with a misclick there. That was just one of those, like, I meant to put it on the stinger, obviously. That was... See, I make mistakes, too. I mean, that wasn't really strategical. I thought I put it on the stinger. That's where I meant. I just misclicked. But, it happens. It happens. It really doesn't feel that bad, because I know we're still going to win this game. How was I going to get punished? Like, the rest of the deck is cycling cards and Ultimatum and Flare and whatever. Relax. I'm sure all of you can remember your first draft. I'm not saying that was that person's first draft or their first week or their first month, but Magic is hard. Not everybody's a veteran. Not everybody's an expert. Relax. Okay, this opening hand looks pretty solid. These two combo together pretty nicely. I mean, this doesn't lower the cost of this. It's not an activated ability, I don't think. But it does lower the cost of cycling, which matters a lot with this. It turns all my 2-mana cyclers into 1-mana cyclers. So, think we can just start with the Triome. No way we're going to cycle that with this particular hand when it's in our opener. Of course, I'm not going to block. Ours kills theirs. Theirs doesn't kill ours. I am going to attack. If they block, I can play Suffocating Flames here. Make the Tactician a 1-2 and then eat it. If they take it, I have a creature bigger than theirs to play post-combat. And like I said, it's pretty important to get the Zerta out, because now I can cycle the Flames for 1, which means with 3 mana, I can clip off a 2-2. And with 6 mana, I'll be able to clip off a Snare Tactician. And I wasn't scared they would block there, because Tactician's a really good creature, and I would have just played Suffocating Flames at instant speed. Okay, they might have Divine Arrow, they might not. I'm not going to be afraid of that, I don't know. But I do already have the mana up, so if they have it, I can cycle, kill this healer here. Now, before they untap and can do more stuff, I'm going to go ahead while they're tapped. Cycle for 1 mana, thank you Zerta. Which gives us the 2 to pay. Shoot out that healer. No more life for the opponent. And we're practically at Ultimatum mana, because it's triple white and we have triple white. We need to draw, and this can search for either. We just need to draw Mountain or Swamp to have Ultimatum mana. So, presumably we can win this game with the old tomato over here. Yes, really, Manserval. It's a good early blocker. It works well with Keensight Mentor. It's not an amazing card. I'm not saying it is. Okay, so we'd rather wait as long as possible on Farfinder because we don't know whether we're going to search up a mountain or a swamp. We want to search for whichever one we don't draw. I guess if we search for a swamp, then we can just draw either because this is a red-black duel. So I lied. We could actually play this and get a swamp. And then if we draw plains, that's never going to help us because it's the 4th plains. But if we draw swamp or mountain, we'll be able to cast the Ultimata. But for this turn, we probably want to play the Serval and the Mentor anyway. Then next turn we can play Farfinder, go get Swamp or Mountain, play it, and then we're just a Swamp or Mountain away from game-winning Ultimata. This game's looking pretty good. Even in the event that we don't get to cast it, we're now growing these 2 creatures. We can make things unable to block. This is a pretty tough spot for the opponent. So, if they want to block this with the 2/3, I can double strike and kill it. That seems better than cycling it. This, I can make a 4/4 double strike, kill both and live. So I think, first and foremost, we just attack, let them block if they want. Cycling is fine, but I would rather kill a Snare Tactician, I think. Okay, they took it. Maybe I'm supposed to Farfinder pre-combat so that I can deal them an extra point or 2. I need a swamp so that I have a swamp and a mountain with the duel so that I can draw swamp or mountain. These cycle for 1, most likely. Why no pump? Because I'd rather pump the Farfinder 2, and I wasn't really that concerned about dealing them an extra point or 2 of damage. We have the Ultimatum. We have 2 cycling 1 cards. We're going to win this game by digging up Swamp or Mountain, casting this, and they're going to concede. Double Raking Claws, pump, double Raking Claws might have been lethal. I might have missed that, yeah. 1 Raking Claws certainly wasn't. Okay, well, most likely we'll lethal them if they get in flare range now. But we might as well attack and see what they want to do. There's no good block for them. Okay, so they're just dead. Thank you, Tifa80. Appreciate that subscription. Yeah, Zerta does a lot of work in cycling. It's just a question of whether you can get it in the companion slot or not. I mean, look, it's well worth benching 1 Snare Tactician and 1 Marmoset to get a Zerta in the companion slot. For us to do it, we would have had to bench, like, this Broken Rare. We'd have to bench Farfinder, Marmoset, Save Thundermane. So I decided not to do it. But it is quite strong. I got the Flare, pick 2, pack 2. I mean, Zerta's a 3-mana 3/3 with multiple positive abilities, one of which makes every cycling card cycling 1, which is very valuable. So you should certainly consider Zerta a good card. The question is whether you're going to put it in the cycling slot or not, and that depends on what you're dropping. If at the end of a draft I didn't have any power cards I was dropping, but I was dropping like one Tactician, one Marmoset, I would definitely put it in the companion slot. If I'm dropping Thundermane and two Tacticians and Broodmoth, I'm not going to do it. It's just an exact value calculation. Clearly we're going to cycle. We need one more land to unlock this hand. No real choices, of course. We don't have a Plains, so it's the only card we can cast, and then of course we're going to get a Plains. So if we pacify, do we even have something to cycle? No. So that just uses 2 mana instead of 4. So I think we'll Blood Curdle just to be mana efficient since we have a handful of spells. We can't cast Broodmoth yet. It's double white. We only have 1. So our choices for this turn were Blood Curdle, Pacifism, Manserval. Thanks for that subscription, J City. Very much appreciated. Appreciate your support. So Mala can play Lava Serpent, but we need to draw one more land before we can do that. I don't want to start losing my creatures, so I think here I'm going to Zenith Flare away Thundermane. While I hate to throw away Zenith Flare, we have it in our opening hand. We know this deck has lots of creatures and can close that way. We also know the opponent's playing a cycling deck. I don't really want to let them on tap with Thundermane, start killing my stuff for free. Plus, I'm just looking to dirtle a little bit because I need one more land, and then I can cast this 4/4 that lets me then cast the 5/5 from the graveyard. But I can't play this right now, because if I don't draw a land, then I lose the Lava Serpent. You only get until the end of the next turn to play it, right? Okay, this turn almost looks scripted. We can use all our mana, pacify the one creature that's useful to pacify, and drop another creature. I am kind of scared of the double stinger going on, but there's nothing I can really do about it. So again, we don't really want to play Moloch yet. It looks like a pretty good turn to go Keensight Mentor on the Marmoset, cycle the Raking Claws. I want to have the Marmoset back to block as well, so playing it pre-combat is useful. They couldn't attack with the Stingers. I had a 2/3 first strike up. Oh yeah, they had 2 Stingers on tap. If I attacked with the Farfinder, they could double block. Opponent has a pretty nice cycling deck here. Still no double white. That is land 6. Is there a way for me to double Fumes in a turn using Moloch? Yeah, but I have to go Fumes, Moloch, Fumes, right? That same turn, so I'd have to have 11 mana. Because all their creatures have 2 toughness. probably going to lose to getting drained out, but I think we just stick with the plan. Now that we have land 6 for Serpent, let's make them answer a 4-4 and a 5-5. Who knows what they're holding. If we draw planes, we can put this out, and then they'll have to answer these more than once. Winota's okay, but it doesn't do a ton here. They can trade it for my 4-4, but I've got Mothra, but not in play yet. Doesn't matter. They have to deal with my creatures. Just going to go ahead and pressure them. It's a bad sign. Hopefully they cannot kill me, but I don't know. I mean, if they have Flare, we're certainly dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, I don't think we're in any way dead to just a Cycler, pay the mana, and kill the Finder. Oh, we are? It's Xaxes. Never mind, I lied. We're dead. Maybe I shouldn't have attacked with both. I didn't realize one Cycler was exactly lethal. They have 3, 5, 7. We have 1 blocker. Okay, super dead. To be fair, even if we had 2 blockers, we would have died because of Winota. So we were pretty dead there. Blade Banish, we saw Winota, but it doesn't hit Thundermane. It can hit Marmosets, but it's hard to leave 4 up. And we have plenty of good removal and cycling and stuff anyway. Yeah, Dead Weight should probably have come in. Forgot I had that in the sideboard. I mean, black is our lightest color, but it's probably worth it to kill some of those cards. No, you're right. Dead Weight should definitely have came in. Not meaning it off the splash is right, but seeing Double Stinger and Thundermane, they even had Rescuer that they got off Winota there. I should have brought in Dead Weight. You're 100% right. So I'm leading the tap land over the Wilds because of turn 2 Thundermane. Now, after that, of course, we'll go get a Swamp. I hope they don't have it, but we didn't see an arrow out of them. I'm not going to just miss 3 damage. Good stuff. Tomato for the win. Okay, so I'm going to cycle the charge. The Fumes lets us attack, because if they block, we can Fumes, and our creature will live and theirs will die. So that means first pre-combat, I need to attack. If I cast the Zerta, I don't have Fumes mana up. So let's attack. This card being an instant is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna do a Raid Shadow Legends promotion stream. But if you think the game is interesting, I'll talk more about that later in the week when I have a date and everything's set up. But if you see what the stream elements thing is, check out the game Raid Shadow Legends. Okay, post combat, we're going to Zerta. Now these only cost 1 to cycle. Hey, Pretty MTG, how's it going? Thank you for the raid. Appreciate the support. How are you doing today? Always attack pre-combat. Defying the laws of physics, magic, reality, earth. It's crazy times we live in. Well, I would appreciate it. I'm not going to complain, Janice. But yeah, I'm going to be doing like a little promo stream for that. So I have to set up a date and everything. Okay, so we're 1 mana away from double cycle, because the cycling is all 1 and 2 to use still. So for now, I can attack with Zerta. Whoa, another raid from after Preddy MTG. We got Just Lola Man. Thank you, Preddy MTG. Thank you, Just Lola Man. Appreciate the support for my channel. And Just Lola Man is the one who's been putting together these streamer drafts. So thank you, Just Lola Man, for organizing those as well, in addition to the generous raid. Okay, so let's cycle and kill Thundermane, which this is great. We actually kind of wanted to cycle anyway. I think Coordinated Charge is the weaker, because we're looking for 1 more land so that we can double cycle and kill these 3 toughness creatures. That's a great land to draw, too. It's the 2nd swamp for the Ultimatum. So now we're a Plains or Mountain away from Ruinous Ultimatum. And in the meantime, cycle out all their permanents. I'm going to get rid of the Marmoset first. I don't really care if they tap something 1 more time. I want to get rid of the Marmoset first. Oh, wow. You can cycle the Triumph for 1 mana. How awesome is Zerta? And we already have land for the Ultimatum now. Because now I can safely attack with Zerta into Snare Tactician. It would be scarier to attack into the Marmoset if they didn't cycle. I still think I'd rather just take the cycle and the free kill here. I don't really think I need the extra win con in play. I'm getting all this life. They're going to have to play more stuff. Look, every matchup is different. Every game is different. You don't need to win by more. I'm not afraid to Ultimatum 1 permanent away here or whatever. All good. As is, I'll hit both of these. Zerta or what? Hennick. Zerta is quite good. So if we Moloch, we can then play the Vantasaur. Or we could double cycle and kill the Tactician. I think I like double cycle, kill the Tactician first. We don't know if our Thundermane is going to live forever. We're not going to lose the ability to Moloch up the Vantasaur. But we might lose the ability to Thundermane out the Tactician. Thanks to Zerta's awesomeness, we even have enough mana now to cast the Stinger we drew. Still cycle for 1. Still pay 2. I would indeed describe this deck as decent. Okay, they were able to kill our Thundermane, but I think we can just attack. If they block Zerta, I'll cast the Fumes. If they block Stinger, I'll just let the trade happen. If not, we get in all our damage. And then we have the ability to Moloch back the Vantasaur, like I talked about 8 times. I don't think we want Charge. They might kill some of our creatures. This Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, that sounds fine with me. I think I can do that. I mean, I would prefer if it was Thursday, but if Friday is more doable, I think I can be around. Hey, that's what I'm out here for. Still got just trying to help people not make big fools of themselves. Ben is doing 3 drafts today. This is the first of the 3, as per the usual. Round 2. Seems like a pretty... Oh, wait, we can just lethal them. Would it be worth it to Raking Claws Zerda to kill this Thundermane? Yes. Is it better to Raking Claws Mullock and then deal them 8 and kill them? Yes. Lethaling them better than killing Thundermane and having our creature live. Winning is decent. Getting to the finals of this first draft, I'm going to pour a glass of water. Thanks, Call Me Zampa. Appreciate the subscription, Zampa. Why is my door scary? Mana Screw is scary. I'm not afraid of doors. I spent the whole week putting the broken glass together piece by piece with super glue. No, I'm just kidding. I threw it out. What else would you do with a broken glass? I'm not a glass maker or whatever. Thank you, Jaker M. Appreciate that subscription. Probably like 3-star, man, but it really depends. Oh, hey, we got the draw against Akon Blackblade. I have no idea. I have no idea what's up with that. We'll see. Yeah, I guess it just didn't count, so we'll try and queue up again. Cycling decks aren't the most fun, no. I wouldn't say boring, but more on the boring side than combat-oriented decks. I'm not a huge fan of this totally broken cycling deck. Like, I'm a big fan of the cycling mechanic. I think it's the best mechanic of all time. But what I'm talking about is a 6-mana 5/5 that haste that has cycling too. I'm not talking about cycle, win with my Drana Stinger and Snare Tactician. That's kind of just a non-interactive combo deck compared to cycling, which is just a cool choice. Basically turns every card into a split card. Yeah, 1 land, but we got 3 1-mana cyclers. I'm loose. You already knew that. The most fun deck, probably Red-Black Sack in this format. Loosey-goosey. Alright, we do have some tap lands. So we could cycle one of the ones now in case we draw a tap land, but we also have these 2-mana ones to cycle. So I think we're better off just playing Swamp and cycling Charge into their turn. Or in combat, if they provoke me by attacking with Mothra's Great Cocoon here. Nothing we could do about that. They'll get their card, but then we could pacify it. Stop the 2 cards a turn madness. Hey, you keep that down. Why would you say something like Gem Razor? You keep that to yourself. You're welcome. Okay, so we can go get a mountain and not cycle. And then if we draw a land, we can cycle the 1-mana card and kill the Farfinder. If we don't, we still just play Thundermane and pass, probably. If they kill it, so be it. If not, we get it online. Well, that's not ideal. I'm just going to whack that now. I don't want to take any risks. It's kind of a scary creature. I've got some good creatures to put out one at a time. I don't know what Battle Pass is, so I'm probably the wrong person to be asking that question to. Hey Cam, how you doing? Thank you for the 17 months of support. That is the entire time. Let's see. I mean, I guess we can Zerta and Stinger, because we can use all our white on Zerta, so it's almost certainly correct this turn. Yeah, I've never really bought the Mastery Passes or anything. I mean, maybe I should. Maybe I'm spewing value. I don't really know how it works. Thanks for that generous donation. Still got outs? I can see you have a lot of outs. It looks like 1, 4, 8, 9, 10. Is that about 18 outs? Thank you, Zubars. Really appreciate the support. Thank you, Salsa Shark. Really appreciate the support. Thanks to everybody supporting my stream with donations and subscriptions. Okay, what are we going to do here? We could cycle, but then we're still 1 short of killing Honey Mammoth with Flare. I guess we're not going to cast Dragon Claws here for double strike. We're probably going to cycle it. So let's dig deeper into our deck. Because, I mean, we're looking for our Ultimatum. We're looking for more cyclers for Flare. We're finding more lands. Not what we were hoping to see. If I attack now with Vigilance, I can then tap and make Honey Mammoth unable to block. But they'll still just block with their 2/4, so I think it doesn't accomplish much. Thanks for the bits, y'all. We got another generation by Still Got another generous donation by Still Got Outs. I can't count that many ones. It looks to me like 30 bits. Appreciate it. Also, the best bits, hearts, beating hearts from Rookie MVP. Thank you for the 30 or so bits from you as well. Yeah, it's entirely possible that the Master Pass is a good purchase. I really have no idea. Like, I should look into it. I might be leaving value on the table, which no gamer likes to do. It goes against our official ethos. But I'm not honestly sure. I don't care about the cosmetics. If it nets golden gems, I'm interested. I play Infinite, so I can probably unlock it. So we could cast a 5/5 here. Or we could cycle and flare Mammoth. I think I'm more interested in flaring Parcel Beast than Mammoth at this point. I don't want to let them draw 2 cards a turn. So I think the right play here is not to play Lava Serpent or cycle Lava Serpent. We could Zenith Flare the Parcel Beast, and then end of turn we just +1/+1 the Zerta, and then next turn we can play the Lava Serpent. We have a Cathartic Reunion, so I'm going to hold the land, especially this one. We need a Plains for the Ultimato. I don't think third Swamp is really helping us. If they attack, we can take 6 from the Honey Mammoth. Otherwise, Keensight Mentor can block Healbonder. Well, there goes that plan. Yeah, I don't really need singles, but anything that nets gems or gold, I'm all for. So now what are we going to sack? Stinger is our worst creature. I guess we just sack that. And then we take 10, we're at 2. None of these have Menace, though. And then we have a 5/5 to add to the board next turn. This is pretty rough. I mean, we're not dead on board. If they were to attack with all 3 next turn, and they don't play anything else, we wouldn't be in that bad with our blocks. Okay, well that actually doesn't change anything. Because we can just take the 1, since we're at 2 and not 1. I don't think we have to cycle. 1/4 on 6/6. 4/4 eats 2/4. 5/5 bounces with 4/6. That looks fine. I don't think I want to rely on Cathartic Reunion at this point. I can go land Serpent. Oh, but I can play Serpent and still activate Mentor and turn Zerta into a 5/5, which then gets it to a 6/6 next turn. So I think that's better. Because Keensight Mentor only costs 1 mana thanks to Zerta. So if they don't have anything, this is a tight game, but we're not dead. We can't beat anything else, obviously, not a removal or another mutate. But on board, this is just tight. Hey, thanks, still got outs. Appreciate the bits flying at me. Now we've got some lucky clovers. I'll take the luck any day. As you see, they didn't even attack with all 3. If they did, all that would have happened was 1/4 dies to 6/6, but I also would have ate a 2/4, and the 5/5s would have bounced. This is a tight game on board. So now I'm going to block with these 2. If they want to stop the Zerta from growing further, they have to kill the Mentor. Otherwise, I'm trading a 6/6 for a 5/5, and then I still have my Mentor out to keep growing Zerta. I'm not saying we're going to win. I mean, look, we're at 2 life. But as long as we find some stuff to do, this is a tight game. This is not a game that we're dead on board or anything like that. That attack was them trying to clear the way for the smaller creatures. I mean, they traded a 6/6 for a 5/5. It wasn't great. It wasn't horrible. I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I really don't know. But it wasn't horrible. All they did was trade a 6/6 for a 5/5, and they're trying to clear the way so that 2/4s and 1/3s can profitably attack. Okay, so we might need to cast Fumes to stay alive. We know we're not casting Craters, so let's start by cycling Craters, see what we get. So that's our Ultimatum mana, and it's a valuable point of life, so I'm going to cast that. I'm going to hold on to the Fumes, because if they alpha, I'm probably going to cast it. No, that's not good for us. See what they hit. Okay, -1/-1 in response kind of works. I mean, they're just not going to attack, but that's fine. We don't lose our creature. So that's actually not the worst, I don't think. We do need to draw something. If we draw land, we're dead on board. We could block 2 creatures, and then they have 3 that would get through, right? 2 from the Healbonder and 1 from the Naturalist. So we're dead on board if we draw nothing. But if we draw something, it's still a pretty even game. And if we draw Ultimato, then we might win. Hello, Ultimato. I asked for you. It's nice of you to show up. I mean, they're at 32, so we still have a long way to close this game out at 3 life. But we're live. Ultimato, that's how you say those. That's just its actual name, right? I'm going to miss the 1 because if they do draw removal, I don't want to have to chump with Mothra here. Now I don't think we really need to because we have the Serval also. Another fine blocker. Woo! Quite the comeback! I didn't think we were going to win that game at some points. Hello, Ultimato. Whereas I probably should have boarded in Deadweight in that previous matchup. It doesn't look right here. Blade Banish, on the other hand, seems great here, though. They have a lot of fatties, including double Chittering Harvester. So we definitely want to bring in Blade Banish. Serval doesn't really seem like a great blocker against them. Their stuff's pretty big. Alright, this hand's not great, but with Reunion, we're never mulliganing. Remember, Reunion doesn't even put you down a card, it just breaks even on cards. So, I mean, it's not that heavy of an investment to cycle your whole hand for 2 mana, basically. For now, let's cycle, see if we get Stinger or Thundermane, something better to do on turn 2. My Psychic powers are in full force today. I like this. Hey, thanks, Epic Broccoli. Appreciate the generous 100-bit donation. Thanks to everybody today who's donating and subscribing. I know there's been a lot. Even the really small donations, I really do appreciate it. It adds up. I've often said crowdsourcing, crowdfunding is the most powerful force in the universe. And I know everybody has different financial situations. So for those who do enjoy my stream, I really do appreciate all the donations and subscriptions. Thank you, O Scout. Appreciate the 14 months of support. Although I see you took a month off there. 8-month streak. I'm just playing. That's a lot of months of subscription to my stream. Thank you, O Scout. Okay, so what are we going to do here? We can't kill anything this turn. I don't mind spewing a 2-mana cycler. We have 3 of them. So I think what we do is attack, and then we cycle now, because we have 2 or 3 tap lands, and you never know if you're going to draw one of those. So let's cycle. This way we can play a tap land if we draw it. If not, then we'll play it on tap land. Wow, and speaking of generous subbing and great support, thank you, Penguin. Appreciate the support. Thank you for subbing. And then thank you, TPO, for very generously gifting out 5 subs. That is incredibly generous. Thank you, TPO3. Appreciate the support. Okay, nothing much we can do here. I don't mind spewing a cycle and not shooting. We have lots of cycling, and they're all 2-mana cyclers. So I think it's pretty clear to pacify the Great Horn and just keep attacking. End of their turn, I'll most likely cycle a Raking Claws, but we'll see what they do. If they put out a 2-toughness creature, I might not. So that's kind of annoying. Now that's going to turn it into a good pinger. It's mutated twice already. Probably going to have to kill that again. Obviously, they spent another card, too. I wouldn't have pacified it if it already had the Porcu-Parrot under it. I'd rather hold Reunion to discard extra lands if I can. I'm not saying it's going to go that way, but just in case. I always think with Reunions and stuff like that, unless you're under pressure, you get more value by waiting until you have more dead cards. Like, this game is not a rush, like, at the moment. I do want to kill Parcel Beast. Divine Arrow should take care of Wolfbearer at some point. I have to cycle one more time before I can flare the Parcel Beast, so I think we just do that now. If we draw a land, we can go flare and kill Parcel Beast. If not, pass the turn, and then Divine Arrow the Wolfbearer, I think. And then we have Draw Step to get a land or a 1-mana Cycler, and then we can find a land off of the cycle as well. So we have a lot of cards. Thank you, Pengineer. Appreciate the subscription. 6-Foot Gnome hitting all of those cool little icons. Thank you for the donation, 6-Foot Gnome. Appreciate it. Did they hit nothing off Stampede? Ouch. But they're still generating card advantage because they have Parcel Beast here. Huh? I had 4 for Flare. What was the 4th, though? I'm confused. I had only said 3 last turn, and Divine Arrow doesn't have cycling. Well, I just messed something up. Oh, I cycled looking for the land last turn. I'm so silly. Yeah, my bad. I mean, now I'm purposefully cycling main phase because I'm looking for tap lands and more to do. But I would have flared for 4 on the Parcel Beast. Although now I might just hold the flare. 15's a lot, but I have 2 more cyclers and Reunion. If I get in a single hit with the 3-power flyer, I might just like end up flaring them out. I didn't play the tap land because it cycles, and I don't really need more mana. I think I'm just going to try and flare them for 15. Let's check my deck. How many more cyclers do I have? 2 in my hand makes 9. Crater makes 10. Stinger's 11. Leak is 12. Moloch, Serpent. So I need to get in, like a hit. I mean, they have double Chittering Harvester. There's no way to know if one of those is in their hand or not. I think I'm just going to cast this. If they kill it, so be it. I don't need it to win or anything. But if they don't have Chittering Harvester or something right now, then I can attack. A 2-3 doesn't block a 3-4. And if I get in a hit for 3 or 2 hits for 3, then they're in flare range. So let's make them have the Harvester now. Of course they did. Because I'm holding the Swamp to discard to Reunion. Okay, so I think 6-8, we have enough life to survive another turn. Zenith Flare gains life, so we're not that worried about getting low. So I'm going to flare up a Plains, because that's the land I need the least. And then discard it to Reunion and see what we get. See if we find the Ultimatum for next turn. If we do, we can play the Triome and then basically any untapped land. Well, now we can play this Crag, and then we have to top deck exactly a Swamp. Or we can play the Triome, and then we can top deck Swamp or Mountain. We only have 1 Swamp left in our deck. Our deck's only 13 cards. And cycling the Triome could be valuable. How many Mountains do we have left in our deck? Looks like quite a few, though. What, like 3? Yeah, 3 Mountains, 1 Swamp, 1 Wilds are left in our deck. But we're not that far from killing them, right? And there's 3 Mountains and 13 cards and a Swamp, which still works. I'm not going to be that greedy. I'm going to play the Triome. Now we can draw. We have 3 Plains, Swamp, Mountain, and Red-Black Duel. so we can draw Swamp or Mountain. So this gives us a 4-outer to cast the Ultimato next turn. Now they're only a point short of killing us. Hopefully they don't have another mutate creature. Boo. I needed to kill that Parcel Beast. It's funny, because if I didn't mess up, I might have won that game. I forgot the flare was for 4, because it was 3 the previous turn, and I cycled looking for land. I should have flared the Parcel Beast when I had exactly 4 in the graveyard. Thank you, A. Carter. Appreciate that subscription. Also, thank you, Purry710. I missed your subscription. I really do appreciate it. I hope purry is because there's a lot of purring in your house, because we all know this is a cat stream. Cats are the best. I don't think I had 2 lands I wanted to discard to Cathartic sooner. I think the mistake was just not flaring. And, I mean, it was more of a brain fart than a strategic. Like, if I knew the flare was for 4, I would have flared the Parcel Beast. I saw it as a flare for 3, because that's what it was the previous turn. I mean, it's still my fault. It's still a mistake. It's not like it's a Marina bug or something. I'm just saying I didn't realize I could flare it for 4, and that's what caused me to make that mistake. Okay, so let's cycle charge, try and dig up lands. Well, good enough. I would have rather plains, so we can get closer to Mothra, which is double white. But for now, we can Zerta, and then we can cycle this for 1 mana if we don't peel plains next turn. Now I'm not sure what to do. I have a really good hand, so I kind of want to cycle, but I'm not really looking for a ton. I could definitely win this game as like a creature deck. You know, I've got a handful of good removal and a couple of good threats. I think I might just memory leak the opponent. They have a pretty powerful deck. Let's see what's in there. So let's see. This is interesting. They don't have double blue. This is single blue to mutate, but double blue to cast. I think I take Great Horn here, right? Then if they don't top deck an island, they have nothing to do. If they end up hard casting this, I can Blade Banish it by then or Blood Curdle it. Great Horn looks like the most disruptive, even though it's the least powerful of all the cards in their hand. Now they really just don't have anything to do. If they top deck an island, they can play it, and then they can end of turn Sea Dasher and like on tap Harvester. But worst case scenario, they're just killing Zerta or something. Okay, so they didn't play an island, so they can't Sea Dasher end of turn. Some of my lands do come into play tapped. I think we want to start by cycling this Raking Claws. Well, it's not a tap land. It is a permanent to play pre-combat. Give Vigilance here. Sadly, still no second white. Just gonna attack and pass. Even though this telegraphs that I have stuff, they don't know that it's Blade Banish and Blood Curdle as opposed to Cyclers. And I could easily end up wanting to just kill whatever they play here and use all 4 mana rather than get a +1/+1. So I don't think I super care about sacking like Keensight Mentor. I mean, I'd rather not. But am I really going to Blood Curdle the Cocoon in response? That seems kind of silly. So let's just let that happen. Then we can Blade Banish. We still have to sack a creature. Get rid of our Mentor. So that's double blue, but it comes into play tapped, so they still can't necessarily do anything yet. Gonna win this finals just as a good old-fashioned beatdown deck. Memory leak the opponent, cast a few creatures, hold a few removal spells. So if they let me attack, I can make that unable to block. They have ram through. If they go for ram through and I respond with blood curdle, I get the full blowout. The problem is if I attack and they block, I have to just like do something. I would rather kill Porcupine with Divine Arrow than with Blood Curdle. So I think what I'll do here is attack and just pass to them. If they block, I'll Divine Arrow. Now they can... Oh wait, no, because then they don't take any damage. I really need to put them to 2 and then I can just flare them. So I pass to them now. Because if they go to 2, I just flare them out. Hey, thanks for the 100 bits. Hello Kitty Kawaii. Really appreciate the generous donation. If they go for the ram through here on the Thunder Main, then I can Divine Arrow or Blood Curdle in response. Probably Divine Arrow, just because it's a good opportunity to use that removal in combat. And they'll still take 3. I won't have Flare Mana up this turn, but they'll still take 3. So now, I can't flare them, because they're not going to take any damage in combat if I don't kill the Porcupine in response. But if I kill the Porcupine in response here, the ram through never really happens. And we don't lose either creature. We get the 2 for 1. They still take 3 from the Thunder Main because the fight doesn't happen. So now they end up in flare range. Thank you, Erupt and Real Freebie. Appreciate those subscriptions. Thank you for the 6 months and 14 months of support, respectively. Well, now they have to answer my board or they're dead, and then when they do, I'll just flare them. So it looks like 1 draft, 1 trophy, and we'll get to the second draft of the day. Hopefully we'll keep up our win streak. I don't know why people say good game and keep playing. Like, they're obviously not, like, trying to trick me or anything. Now they're tapped out, dead on board. But, like, people, I don't know. I say good game, then the next thing I do is concede. I don't keep playing. Even though game 1 was the awesome one. Hey, don't forget, that was that same match where game 1 they had us to 2 when they were at 38. And we came all the way back with the ultimatum, and they played an ultimatum, and we won like 100 turns later. Pretty awesome. Thank you, Reets88. Appreciate that subscription. Well, we got 1 trophy. Let's see if we're going to get a second. That's true. I always say when you say good game, the next thing you should be doing is conceding. I stand by that, but I guess the quests are a reason to keep playing. I'm going to refill the water and be right back for the second draft. Whoa, turned my head for a second, got a drink, and we got 200 bits. Thank you for the donation. Still got outs. Really appreciate the support. All right, let's see what's here. Well, Shovel's good. I mean, it's a gold rare. I don't love first picking it, but it's pretty powerful. It's super efficient. Only 2 mana, Death Touch, trades up, draws you extra cards in good situations. If we don't take Shovel, there's like, what's the next best card? Like Pacifism, Ram Through. Yeah, I think it's Shovel. I mean, It's not some super broken gold rare that I'm dying to first pick, but it is the best card in the pack. I can tell you as far as laptops, I recommend the Microsoft Surface because it's really small, it's convenient to use like on the go, and it runs Arena. So Valiant Rescuer is one of the better uncommons. It's substantially better than Thundermane and stuff for the cycling deck. Obviously, it doesn't go well with Shovel. It's not to say you can't play like non-red cycling. Otherwise, we could take like a 1-mana. We could take. There's like nothing in this pack. Evolving Wilds. This pack sucks. I mean, Rescuer is a fine second pick, but I would like to take like a good black or green card to follow up Shovel, but this pack really doesn't have any, so I think it's just an easy Rescuer, and we'll see what's in the next pack. I don't want to draft cycling every draft. I mean, I might not have a choice if they're going to force me, but like now it's like, what are we going to do? Like Snare Tactician is the best card in the pack by a lot. I mean, yeah, White-Black Humans is an option. Valiant Rescuer is still excellent in that deck. Leech is an okay 6-drop. Like, it's a fine card. I usually play it. But second picking it over Rescuer would be... That would just be forcing not cycling. I mean, I'm definitely going to take Tactician over Moloch. I think it's better anyway. And we're white and we're not red yet. I mean, we could still go White-Black or something. Like, White-Black Humans is definitely an option. And this pack lends itself to that pretty well. The best card in this pack is Sprite Dragon, but that's a blue-red-gold card that we're nowhere near. We could definitely take like Mutual Destruction or Coilbug or Whisperer and look towards a white-black like Humans deck here. Mutual Destruction is definitely the best of them if that's where we end up going. Like, there's not any key cycling cards or anything like that. Yeah, there's a 1-mana cycler, but we haven't seen much in that regard. I think Bushmeat Poacher here is quite nice. You can draft like a grindy white-black Splash Shovel. Tapper of the Land, yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. I like both of these. I mean, Shovel's quite good. I don't have to splash it, though. So I think we have to take Checkpoint Officer. Checkpoint Officer is a card I don't like very much in red-white cycling, because you want to spend your extra mana cycling all the time, and you never end up with extra mana lying around. But in a black-white creature deck, Checkpoint Officer is a good card. You can pressure them, and then you just start tapping their blockers, tapping end of turn on tapping. Divine Arrow is not exceptional in this deck, but it's a fine removal spell in pretty much any deck in this format. I mean, I do like Wingspan Mentor, but if we do go white-blue, all of our creatures so far are humans. I guess we're going to want some cyclers for Rescuer and Snare Tactician, so this may be an opportunity to just pick up a 1-mana cycler. Even if it's off-color. Alright, pretty easy black-white duel. That helps us cast our spells and splash. Day Squad Marshal. Definitely one of the good white-black human cards to fuel destruction and swarming and just everything that deck is trying to do. One of the archetypes I wrote about on CFB Pro, if anybody has that or saw my article there. Blue does seem open. I agree. Well, I can tell you, lazy developer, I'm definitely not forcing white-black, half cycling, half humans. I mean, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with a few of these cycling humans and having some but not the cycler count of a pure cycling deck. There's nothing wrong with Valiant Rescuer and Snare Tactician and having 7 cyclers in your deck. But this isn't like some kind of secret strategy or something. First pick Shovel, second pick Rescuer as by far the best card in the pack. Never really saw much black-green mutate stuff. Didn't see any like red-white cycling stuff aside from Cyclers, Tactician, and Rescuer. And we took the Rescuer and Tactician. So, I mean, if I had seen more red-white cycling stuff, I'd go there. Only missed out on a few Cyclers. So now there's a land, but I guess it helps us cast Shovel if we play it. It's like black, and then it's green as our splash. There's Boneyard Lurker, which we might do a light green splash so we could cast sometimes. Not sure what we're mutating it onto, though. We're pretty much all humans. I mean, I could just take another Bushmeat. I do like this card. Sack these tokens, try and get more token making, but we already have Rescuer and Marshal. Probably should just take the Cycle land. A cycling land has value, right? If we draw enough lands, we can cycle this and then tap something. Cycle this and make a 1/1. Cycle this and get a new card to prevent flood. Plus, it helps us splash. Umori is interesting. It's a tough one to get in the companion slot, but we're pretty much all creatures. I would have to lose like a destruction, an arrow, and a development. That's kind of well worth it. Of course, then we have to lose all future removal. I usually try and play like an Abzan mutate deck so that I have mutate creatures with effects. I don't think we're going to get a Mori in the companion slot of a white-black humans deck. Coilbug is pretty good for us. It's good with Bushmeat. It's good to mutate onto. It's good with destruction. Of course, we could also just play Umori. It's still a 4-mana 4/5 with a nice positive ability. We don't have to put it in the companion slot. So I think we'll take Umori with the plan of most likely maining it, not companioning it. I mean, is it possible to go like a green-white? What if I go green-white creatures? Splash like Shovel, Bushmeat. I guess either way... Well, I would take Naturalist if I was going to do that. Let's do it. For Umori, it's worth it. I always say people don't go far enough for companions. Let's do a green-white creature deck. Can grab a cycling creature now. That makes us all creatures. Blitzleech fine off the light splash. If we're going to do Umori in the companion slot, we can't do Pacifism, so I'll grab Wilds to fix the mana. Ivy Elemental is good with Mutate. It's good with Umari, too. It's just, you know, it adds one to the casting cost of an X creature. I'm grabbing these Vantasaurs for Snare Tactician and Valiant Rescuer, because they're creatures that cycle, so we can play them with Umari. Do we want Garrison Cat? Doesn't work with much. We have a Vulpikeet. Nah. I took it that time, just in case. Yeah, the Leech will be a nice splash removal spell. The Poacher's good. It gains life. We're not going to have access to removal, really, since we're going to do an Umori creature deck here. Well, if I do Umori in the companion slot, I can't really board in other stuff either, unless I want to lose that. Hopefully we can get to more of a Mutate deck. So Honey Mammoth goes up in value if if you have a Mori in the companion slot, that means it's a 5 mana 6/6 that gains life. And the life gain is more valuable in an all creature deck. Not saying I want to take it here first. It's a pretty weak pack for me. Harsh Mentor is good with Trample. We don't really have any of that yet. And we have a lot of humans. Snare Tactician's okay. We do have the Triome, the double Vantasaur. But we know we're going to end up with less cyclers since we can't take cycling spells now. Yeah, I think Tactician's still going to be good in the all-creature deck. We're going to prioritize the cyclers pretty highly. Like now I'm going to take Vantasaur, not because it's a 5 mana 3/6 Vigilance, but because it's a 1 mana cycling creature. Can't play Stampede. Would be good in an all-creature deck, except Stampede itself is not a creature. Do like a Cavern Whisperer, though. Yeah, Lurking Deadeye's decent. Farfinder's a pretty good pickup for us. That's a card I'm really happy to get one of. I think Evolving Wilds will also really smooth out this mana base nicely. Because our mana's not great. But, because, we want to play Shovel early and stuff like that, and Poacher. But we have Fixing, so we have Naturalist, which casts all of our black stuff, because they're all creatures, of course. And then all 4 of these lands are dual lands, or tri-lands. Whisper doesn't have a ton of mutate targets, but it has some. Farfinder, Vulpikeet, Boar, Umari. You can also just cast it. Okay, the Wolf Bear is excellent for us. We're mostly humans. A lot of them aren't very big. I guess if we're doing Umari, then Day Squad Marshal's the only playable in the pack. I don't think we have a ton of 2-drops, and we don't really want to fall behind. I think this is an opportunity to pick up the Cat. It's probably the weakest of the cards with Cat, Glider, and Marshall, but knowing that we have a 4-drop in the companion slot means we are going to hit our 4-drop every single game. I was really hoping to get some Essence Symbiotes and stuff, but that didn't happen. Here now, towards the back of Pack 3, I think we want to lock up one more 2-drop. I think it's pretty important. So let's see. We'll probably play like 17 lands. So I think we need to put in 1 or 2 more cards because this goes here. 6, 10, 13, 17. We can mess with the sources, but I'm pretty sure 17 is the right amount of lands for this deck. Our curve is not that cheap. But, it's fine. Like I said, we have an extra 4 or 5 every game. Oh, the concessions to play the Companion are extremely real here. But we didn't really have that much good stuff going. Like, I dropped a Mutual Destruction and a Divine Arrow. I passed a couple pacifisms. Yeah, I think Cat's better than Egg. I agree. And then, like, Shimmer, probably. And then let's check the mana. We definitely want to have, like, substantially more green and white than black because we have Farfinder and Naturalist in addition to these 2 wilds. So even though we have a few black cards, it's really not that light a splash. I think we need another green. Because Naturalist produces white and black effectively. And this is a white-black duel. So that gives us 5, 7, 8 green, 6, 7... 9 white, still plenty of black. Yeah, that looks good. I don't think I would have put Leosaur in this deck. I know I can mutate it for white colorless. I'm just not really going that wide. I don't even have that much stuff to mutate onto. I don't think that Leosaur is really offering this deck much. Okay, this is a play first deck all the way. We have no cheap removal, all creatures. Leading the Wilds to get a Plains, of course, because we don't have a Plains. If we draw a land next turn, I can go turn 2 Checkpoint, turn 3 Farfinder. If we don't, I'll probably play the Triome tapped. Getting Checkpoint out in the early game doesn't have a lot of value because you never really want to be sinking 2 mana into Checkpoint Officer on like turn 2, 3, or 4. It has more value, of course, than not playing it, but that's why if I didn't top deck a land, I would have most likely chosen to play the tap land so that turn 3 I could play the Farfinder, get another land, and then never miss land drops, play Umari, Marshall, and so on. Can't double block that because of its ability. But since I drew an on-tap land, then I already knew I could go turn 2 Officer, turn 3 Farfinder, and then I never even have to play the Triome, which means I can cycle it. So there's clearly more value there. Thought about choosing land, decided against. I wonder if I block the Labyrinth Raptor with Farfinder and Umari, what's going to happen? They might go land Deadeye post-combat, but I'm okay with that if I kill the Raptor. What else can they do? They can give it Double Strike, that doesn't matter. They can use Prophecy, I'll still kill the Raptor. Cycle Void Beckner, I still kill the Raptor. I mean, I don't need Umari. I have lands. I have Marshall for next turn. I think I like this block. If they have, like, Fire Prophecy or something here, I still kill Raptor. I'm sacking Farfinder to Raptor's ability. Yeah, they could do it with the ability on the stack if they had had that. They didn't, though. I wonder what else they had, or if that was just kind of a bluff. Like, if I blocked Coilbug with Umari, were they going to Unlikely Aid? Well, for now, I'm just going to hit for 3 and play Tactician. I can use the other 2 mana on the Checkpoint Officer, and I've already got 1 Cycler and then another Cycler, potentially. Try and win this race. Marshall plus tap. I didn't really want to play more tap lands. I could cycle it away. I mean, maybe I have enough to do and the game's going to end sometime soon. But I do have Checkpoint Officer, and now I have Officer and Tactician. So I can slow this game down a bit. Just going to take it here. Yeah, I know what turn we're talking about. It was close. You could have definitely played Marshall and a tap land that turn. I like the Vigilance creature a lot for the ability to attack and block. I was planning to play the other Vantasaur, but since they just used removal and didn't add any other creatures to the board, and then I drew Tactician and I was able to play that and a Cycler. So that seemed good, but it was certainly close. I'm going to end up making the same play anyway, but I didn't know that they were going to have removal for Tactician, of course. Plus, I drew 2 more straight spells. These could have been lands. But now we can Put a bunch of blockers that are all bigger than their creatures on the raptor if it attacks. Sack the 1/1 token. They can pump and then kill the marshal too, but okay, we take their turn, we get rid of the scary creature. We have plenty more ammo. Yeah, I could just block Dino token. I mean, they probably have something if they make the attack. I think that's a little too risky. I think if I do this, it's pretty safe. I don't care at all. If I trade Raptor for the Marshal and the token, plus their 2 mana, so their turn, I'm super happy. If they give it Death Touch, they can kill like both of these. It's not great for me, but it's just an uncommon that does that, and they'll still lose like the Raptor and the turn. And like I said, I have plenty more ammo. I feel like it's just a game I win if they do these things. I don't know what they have. I don't know what the optimal block is, because they haven't telegraphed any given trick. But I feel like this just plays into a game I win. Speaking of plays into a game I win, well, that was pretty much perfect. They're just dead on board now. Tap the Obosh, attack for 8. Not that they knew that. Blitzleech was in my hand, but I knew that. So they're a red-black aggro deck with a bunch of menace and stuff. We probably want, like, the Garrison Cat. It's kind of annoying for them to work through. Take out, like, something slow, like Whisper. We're not really going to make them discard, I don't think. Right, but it costs 6 mana, Mobo. I'm not against Leech. I think it's a solid 6-drop in this format. You just only want to take 6-drops so aggressively and play so many of them. I would play more Leeches. Remember, after Umari, I can play it on turn 5 instead of turn 6, and Umari's in the companion slot. I'm not anti-Leech by any stretch. Think I have to mull this 1-lander with no cyclers. Pains me. Okay, this is a good hand, and clear keep. 1 white. Just going to get rid of the double white card. Sand doesn't really work out perfect unless we top deck like a swamp. But if we draw any land, we can play Rescuer into Mole. 2-drop into 3-drop. Remember, we're not a cycling deck. This is a 2-mana 3-1. You can cycle it in the late game. We have a few other cyclers to make free 1/1s. Like, it's a fine card. But this is not a cycling deck. It's not like an incredible card in this deck. But 3/3 Trample looks good against Coilbug, so I'm going to play that this turn. And then if we draw land, we can play our Umari. If not, we can decide whether to play our tap land here or not. Okay, I don't mind playing the Black Source since we kind of need it. Not going to play a 2/2 Ivy Elemental now. That does nothing. So this turn ends up being pretty easy. Yeah, it's not going well. No real choices here, except tap manually so I can still play my 1-drop. I'll attack there. I mean, it's sort of a bluff, but they'll probably put the 2-4 on the 3-1. I don't really want to get in 4 damage that badly. I know that I'm going to have to be willing to throw away creatures. I'm going to lose to that 4-4 flyer, but I just don't think last turn it was really accomplishing much. Obviously, now I'm more inclined to do it. We do have Volpikeet now, though. So we can just take to the sky. Kind of feel like we're probably just going to get blood curdled or something here. So I think what I want to do is pop out this 5-5 pre-combat. Get ready to Volpikeet it later. Maybe they'll use the removal this turn. And then I'm going to attack like this. I obviously couldn't care less if Poacher eats a 1-1. I don't want to throw Valiant Rescuer into Poacher. Sure thing. Seems worth it. I mean, companions are sweet. I mean, they just 12'd us. We lost this game to a 4-4 flyer. It happens. Actually thought we were looking okay since we drew the Volpikeet. Alright, now that we're back on the play, maybe take out a Garrison Cat. Bring back in the Whisperer. Looks fine. Not great, not horrible. Go get our planes, see what we draw. We're not too many lands away from turn 4, turn 5. But it's not exactly a powerful hand either. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy to just put that in play tapped. Lets us curve out, plus it's our first black source. Played a little bit of Magic in my day, Janice. I don't understand why they're getting rid of that. I don't know how much it could possibly cost to just leave that up. Sad times indeed. Yeah, Mori can be tough. A lot of times you can't just drop a bunch of good removal. I didn't have that much. I had a Mutual Destruction. I think no blocks here. And a Divine Arrow, which is pretty mediocre. Okay, they don't really have any block on it. If they double block and cycle, they can kill it if I have nothing, but they don't know that. Should be a tight game. See what they have. Hopefully not that 4-4 mutate flying rare they beat us with last game. Yeah, the packs were just bad for us in general. I don't think our black-white humans deck would have been much better. We really just didn't see a lot in this draft. Well, there are creatures that are tricks too, sucks. Deadeye, Blitz Leech, which they saw in game 1. Cycling Cycle. The plan is to stream tomorrow and Thursday as well. Still got outs. So we saw Deadeye. I doubt they have that many cyclers. Maybe they have like one in hand. Fire indeed. Thank you for your support. Speaking of support, thank you, Ewan Karma. So appreciate the subscription. So I kind of want to get Shimmer out because then I can Whisper it and it'll be a 7/7 menace. So that's pretty strong. The question is, do I attack it all this turn? This pumping twice doesn't give them any really good blocks. Deadeye means I could kill one of my good creatures for a Coil Bug, though. I don't really like that. I think I'm going to chill. Marmoset plus Deadeye is pretty scary, right? First strike happens and they take out my creature. So I definitely don't care if they Deadeye away like this Vantasaur, or even if they Blood Curdle and I don't kill Raptor, because at the end of the day, actually I'll just block it with everything, because like, if they have Deadeye, I kind of need to provoke it, and all I really want to do now is trade and tie up some of their mana. Then I get to go end of turn Shimmer, on tap Cavern Whisper it, then it becomes a 7/7 menace. So I'm not really afraid of them killing Umori or Vantasaur. I just want to make them spend their mana in cards and not do it for free. So now, what are they going to do? They could, like, Unlikely Aid and Pump and kill Umari and live. Sacking Garrison Cat to Raptor's ability is a free sack. Like, who cares? They could, like, triple Pump and trade for Umori. But this should clear the way for my end-of-turn Shimmer on-tap Whisperer play. Like, if they're holding, like, a Blood Curdle, that doesn't really help them. If they're holding a Deadeye, I mean, I kill Raptor, they can Deadeye away one of these. Like, who cares? If they have Unlikely Aid, now their Raptor can live, they can pump. But they traded Unlikely Aid for Raptor. Also their turn, though. Now they don't have Deadeye or Unlikely Aid open. And like I said, this wasn't a great turn for me, but it means I get to hit them with a 7/7 menace that makes them discard. So life's good. Oops, you don't want to attack. I'll happily send these other two. If they want to double block here, I'll trade Vantasaur for Marmoset, because that clears the way for the 7/7 to keep attacking. And I'm actually kind of scared of First Strike plus Deadeye, because they haven't done a whole lot this game. They left mana up a few times, so that's something they easily might have. Of course, they also might just Blood Curdle the Whisperer, and then I don't have a ton going, so who knows who's going to win this game. Need to draw some spells. That's not a spell. Sorry, that's just me shaking my leg. The camera bouncing. We dead. I don't think there's really much to say there. I mean, I did draw 9 lands. And we just lost a game kind of attrition. We just ran out of stuff. Not sure what the question is, Cliff Jumper. I mean, yeah, it's disappointing what's happening with the PT. I mean, some of it is COVID's fault, not Watsy's. But I mean, I'll play. I'm not against playing online PTs. Well, I mean, I believe I'm queued. I'm in Rivals League. I'm not really 100%. I don't know if they have scatter or not, but it's worth trying to slap down Umari first, I think. If it resolves, then I can start double spelling. And Umari's not like the kind of rare where you're going to pull their removal and their counters and then play it last. If you play it last, it's just a 4/5. For Umari to be broken, it needs to come out early and lower the cost of all these cards in my hand. So I'm going to Ivy Elemental now for 4, because we've got the Cavern Whisperer. So again, we can turn it into an 8/8 next turn. Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily going to say Watsy did the best they could do either, but yeah, it's not their fault that they can't have in-person PTs. But, I mean, if I'm queued for an online PT, I intend to play. I'm not really 100% sure on what I'm queued for and what I'm not. I haven't really been keeping up with everything that well. Just trying to enjoy Magic and play big, sweet tournaments when they're available to me. Obviously stay, up to date on what's going on, but things are changing a lot. It's weird and tough times. Okay, so what are we going to do now? We can Cavern Whisper and hit them for 8 and make them discard. That's awesome. But we don't need to do it this turn. We have an attack for 4 that they have no good block for on board. And then we could use all 6 mana and play like Marshall and Sabretooth. But the 3/1's not really attacking to a 2/4 anyway, so that's not super useful. So I think the Whisperer just does the most. I don't think anything else is super useful on this board. Marshall, Sabretooth. But yeah, we could call this Marshall Sabretooth for now on. Yeah, I'll still play the cat post-combat. I was just thinking whether I needed to Whisper this turn, because I could have attacked with the 4/4 Ivy Elemental. They didn't really have a block on it yet anyway. The only thing is getting out like the 3/3 isn't doing much against a 2/4. Getting out a 3/1 isn't doing much against a 2/4. The Naturalist is a human. Everybody's got the old tomatoes, huh? I liked it better when I was the one with the old tomato. Well, I'm going to attack. They might take it. They might chump. They might make like a giant block, in which case it's not going to go that well for me, but I will kill 2 real creatures. So it's not that bad. If I trade it for a Parcel Beast and a Dreamtail Heron, I'm okay with that. I'll be much happier if they just take it or chump block, because they may be scared to block. They may not. The old tomato. I actually like the cycle of ultimatums. I think they're kind of cool. Like, they go away. They're not... Like, sometimes they end the game, but sometimes they don't do that much, and they're hard to cast. You got to do work for them. I actually kind of think they did a good job with that cycle and enjoy them. The companions, I enjoy way less. But the old tomatoes are actually kind of sweet. Some say potato, some say tomato. Some say mutato, some say mutato. Really, all I want is an old tomato. I could be a rapper if I wasn't a Magic Pro. Rhythm and flow like that. Thanks, Burnator. How you doing? Dangle's impressed. Look at that. He said, wow, Ben, that was really good. The Stark album. So the problem is they have really good blocks on everything but my 8/8. But they do have to double block the 8/8 if I attack with everything or something like that. So this is an interesting situation. I don't really think cycling 1 was a bad decision. The bad decision was the cycling enablers. They're just too pushed. If Zenith Flare didn't hit players, Fox didn't have cycling and maybe cost like 2 mana. Like, Snare Tactician should be an uncommon, you know what I mean? Or maybe just make Fox a rare. I think it's the enablers that are too good, not the cyclers. 1 mana cycling cards are cool outside of the cycling deck. Like, Frostville Ambush is a sweet card. The dinosaur that I have 3 of, the Vantasaur, is a sweet card. The problem is the cycling enablers, not the concept of 1 mana cyclers. I'm just going to turn them. I'm not sure if this play is right or wrong. There's not a lot a blue-red-green deck can do about a Whisperer here inside combat. Like, if they want to kill it, they have to block it with like 2 or 3 creatures and or use tricks. I mean, more than 2 creatures on board. So that'll tie up some of their blockers. So, I mean, I get owned. If they like, bounced the Cavern Whisperer, they could decimate my board with their blocks. But Aether Gust's a sorcery. Capture Sphere doesn't work once it's tapped. Prophecy is small removal at instant speed. Rock Slide is a sorcery. Ram Through, they don't have any big creatures to fight with. So it's really hard for me to envision them owning me here. But they could. It just depends on what they have. And I know they have a lot of cards in hand and mana. Shore Shark is an uncommon, but, I mean, do they have it? I mean, we haven't seen it in their deck. It's an uncommon. Like, maybe they have it, maybe they don't. Any shark blows us out, but that's always true, right? Who beats sharks? So let's see. They're double blocking. I'd want to put the 2/4 first. Yep. Oh, right. I totally forgot that was a Brushwag. Thanks, DJ Ben. I figured, you know, if I'm going to have fresh raps, fresh rhymes, I should have fresh cuts, you know? This is the Mutato haircut right here. What's going on? If they don't have anything else, this worked out really well for me. Could have just pumped again, I would have gotten owned, but... They probably have like a Prophecy to finish off the Whisperer or something. In which case, it's no longer that great for me. Yeah, I couldn't imagine they would just leave that out. I wouldn't say Umari's a trap. You have to make a real sacrifice to get it to work, but I've had good Umari decks. I mean, you want to have Naturalists to play it on turn 3. You want to have Symbiotes. You want to have Brushwags as mana sinks. Honey Mammoth curves out really well with it, so you don't lose a tempo game. I mean, this deck, like, being, like, half cycling Umari is just not very good. But, again, I didn't see very much. Like, and I've still lost close games in a close 3-game match, round 1. And, I mean, I wasn't passing good cards left and right. I passed a few pacifisms, Like, I think this was just an awkward seat. I don't think I really saw a ton. I think I was supposed to be, like, a bad black-white humans in this seat. But, again, I never saw, like, any of the good uncommons, the white or black enchantments for black-white humans. I didn't see a ton of good removal. I didn't see the rares. Like, really, it just was a rough seat, I think. As somebody in the chat said, blue was a color I started seeing late pack 1, but I never really had a good avenue to get there. Opened a black-green card, didn't see black-green mutate. Like, it was a tough seat to draft. I don't think Umori is the solution nor the problem. I did pass about 2 pacifisms, and pacifisms are good, but like pacifisms are not amazing. Like, they're fine cards. That first deck just really came together extremely well. This deck, I don't think there's any good deck I draft in the seat. If I don't take Umari and I take like whatever mediocre card there was there, I didn't take it over anything great. I don't think I end up with some kind of awesome deck. Another mulligan. I think Abzan best supports Umori, but I don't think your deck is supposed to look that much like mine. Abzan mutate. You want to play Honey Mammoths, you want to play Naturalists, you want to play Symbiotes galore, Brushwags, you want to have, like, Oricorns. Things to, like, gain life and offset tempo loss from not having removal, and a lot of power. But again, remember, last game, listen, Magic, people love to draw conclusions from a game, from a match. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, last game, the opponent went turn 2, Parcel Beast. Turn 3, Essence Scatter, activate Parcel Beast. Remember that? Like, round 1, we lost a tight 3-game match where we got kind of flooded one of the games. Like, they had the 4/4 Flying Dragon rare. If we didn't have Umari, maybe we could have answered that a little better. But I'm just saying, like, this game we mulligan, like, my hands haven't been great, and my deck isn't great. And we've lost close games, like, to good decks that had good draws. Like, let's not go nuts with our conclusions. The number one thing to remember, across all Magic always, draw quality is the largest factor in winning or losing. Not deck quality, not individual card performance, draw quality. So with the companions, you do have to go very far with them sometimes. Like I said, when I draft an Umari and I'm going to play all creatures, I'm looking to draft Blitz Leeches, Symbiotes, Oricorns, Honey Mammoths. I'm looking to play like a black-green pseudo-spells creature deck that like amasses all this ridiculous power cheap and gains life and stuff to offset it. This deck didn't get there. I'm not going to lie to you. This isn't the deck I really wanted here. Okay, for now, I think we just put out a 1-mana 3/1 and a 2-mana 3/3. And then we can tap down their 4/4 using Checkpoint Officer, so we should have a nice attack next turn. We are going to draft again. We are definitely not going to drop. I mean, I'm not going to play round 3 if I'm O2, but we're probably going to win this game and get a game 3. And then there's going to be a third draft today, one more, regardless of whether we play 2 or 3 rounds in this draft. Green is the worst color in Ikoria, but by no means do I avoid green. If you get a good green mutate deck, those decks are great. I do believe green to be the weakest of the 5, though. Okay, Volpakeet's not making anything bigger. I see no reason to put it on any of our stuff here. Just beat down for 10. And then I think just cast it as a 2-3. They have to play 2 creatures to be stable on this board. I could save it and try and give Umari flying for the win. But also this just forces them to put out 2 more creatures this turn. And then I can probably still alpha, because if they have to play 2 things, they're probably not that big. Cards that have... So I took the week off last week, but my next article for CFB Pro is going to be top 5 overperformers. Not like I won't give you a sneak preview on my stream. I don't hold back any content on my stream in favor of paid content on CFB Pro or anything. But I don't remember exactly what I listed in order. But I think that the things that overperform in this format in general are instant speed, deals with anything removal, like Blood Curdle and Capture Sphere. If you remember the last time we saw Capture Sphere in Ravnica, it was filler. In this format, it's awesome. So I really like that. So let's see what happens if I attack with everything. 4-4 on 3-3, 1-1 on 3-1, 4-5 on 2-2. So, or I could hit with just Volpakeet. So the effective decision is, do I want to trade to kill Fertilid? I don't think so. So let's just hit them for 2. I love Capture Sphere. If I attack with just Umari now, I guess, yeah. I guess the 3 attackers was about an even trade I didn't want, but I guess just Umari might have been okay. I would trade it for Brushwag. Yeah, you're probably right. I think I messed that up. Well, the Mole was going to get blocked by the Brushwag. So I figured out that if I attacked with these 3, I didn't really like it. Brushwag eats Mole. One of these 2 trades with Rescuer and the other chumps Umari. So the end result is I lose Rescuer and Mole. They lose Fertilid and Farfinder. So I didn't really want that exchange. But I could have sent just Umari, and then they could have double blocked, and I kill Brushwag for Umari. And that actually probably is a good exchange for me. So I think you're right. I thought about the 3-for-3 attack on the ground and realized it was wrong. That's why I didn't attack. But I think I could have sent just Umari, and then I trade it for just Brushwag. And then that's a good trade for me. Or they chump block, in which case that's a good trade for me. I think I should have sent Umari in addition to Volpakeet. I think you're right, chat. Chat, 12,864. Ben, 9, 10. I did get 1 or 2 recently. But I do think you're right there. Okay, 1 mana 1/1 is borderline unplayable in this matchup, but I don't need a 1/5 anymore. Egg isn't helping either. I haven't even been on MTGO since Ikoria came out, DJ Benj. It's obviously varies a lot. DCI rating, I mean, whether you're on a win or lose streak, you know, like, usually it was nothing absurd. I mean, it was good, like in the 1800s, like, or whatever. I mean, I have hit higher ratings, but then it goes back down when you hit a bad streak. All right, let's see. What land do we want? I don't think we really have double white cards, right? And we have that green-black 2-drop. So we'll probably get a green here. That lets us cast pretty much anything. I'm not super into Cube. I mean, if it's truly a Pauper or something super interesting, I will check it out. But I like low power. Cube is generally very high power. Cube's just never really been my thing. I'm not against the concept at all. Like I said, I'm just more interested in lower power Magic, and Cube tends to be higher power Magic. I know Ikoria is pretty high power, but still lower power than Cube, generally speaking. I'm not sure if I was supposed to play Umori there or the Marshal. I'm getting ready to Swarm, and I have Tap and whatever, but I guess it's the same amount of power anyway, so the Marshal's a little better if they have removal, but a little worse at attacking this turn if they, like, do nothing or something. I feel like it might end up tough for me to resolve creatures when I want to, so that's why I went with the Marshal. But it doesn't force them to do things by nearly as much. So I guess if I cycle now, I can tap their only good blocker, but I don't have that much out yet. Next turn, we've got the Leech. Yeah, that's true. No, with what they did, I would rather play the Umari. I'm going to suck it up. See what they do this turn. I can now go end of turn cycle. On tap, Leech. Either in combat or pre-combat. Card art upgrades? Where? I haven't spent any money on that, I can tell you that much. If you get them for free. Oh, you know what? If I have any, it's from that one bundle that's a really good deal. I bought their 3,500 gem, Explorer bundle or something, because it's a better rate than buying gems at $100 for 20,000, which is the best rate. So I bought that one bundle because it was, a good rate on gems. Yeah, I mean, choosing to cast lands for 1 mana less is tempting, though. It's a tough decision, Rufia. If they remove that option there to choose lands, then how would people have the ability to misclick? Okay, I think I'm just going all aggro here. So I'm going to tap the Beast. I don't really care about them getting card advantage at this point. Now we slap down the Leech. Tap, kill that Otter, and then we can just attack with, everything. Except the checkpoint, because I don't want them to double block it. Thank you, Captain Vlad. Appreciate the 10 months of subscription. Thank you for your support. I've noticed almost any time I take some time off or something, I always get a lot more subs when I come back, which actually really means a lot to me because it tells me that you're choosing to save your sub for me. You're not just randomly firing it because that's where you are that day. So, thank you for the warm welcome back always and the continued support for my streaming. My chat, best chat. I'll take y'all versus anyone. All right, let's see what we have here. I mean, if we wait one turn, our attack is going to be much sicker. I mean, they get another turn of growing something. They're not drawing an extra card. They will draw a card off Beast. But we have end of turn Shimmer, tap, and cycle. And then we can on-tap, tap, and have an extra 3/3 to attack with. So I think we take one turn off before we do our next alpha. It's going to be pretty hard for them to put out more stuff than a 3/3 tap, tap, on tap, tap, and then attack with everything. Tap Glimmerbell? Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Nah, I know. You can't. We don't want to tap Glimmerbell. Tap, like, Brushwag, I think. What are we tapping? I guess we're tapping Parcel Beast. And then Brushwag or Naturalist. I think tapping Parcel Beast makes sense. It's not like we're going to kill it here. 2/4 stops a lot of our creatures. And then do we tap, like, if Brushwag? We could actually, jokes aside, tap Glimmerbell, because if they untap it, they can't pump Brushwag. We could tap Farfinder. We could tap pretty much any of these other creatures. Okay, well, now we're tapping with the Cycle, but we're not tapping again with the Checkpoint Officer. And they don't have enough mana up to use Brushwag, so they could use that mana to untap Glimmerbell. So now I think we just want to tap the 2/2. Their best blocker. Hey, lands, and more lands. Just what I wanted. But combats shouldn't go that bad if they don't have anything else to do, so let's see what's up. I blame Deathsea for this. Didn't want all these lands. I don't want to own a bunch of lands. I want to live in a small, comfortable, safe apartment. I'm not trying to be a landlord. It's not my style. Alright, so let's see. Shimmer on Naturalist. That's a trade. Eat. Nothing else I can do. Well, Destiny likes to also draft cool decks and stuff like that. Like, if he was drafting in the Pro Tour, like, let's say, I'm not sure exactly how he would draft. Like, he's very good, but he also really enjoys drafting, like, the sweetest, coolest decks and making use of given cards and stuff like that. Yeah, their deck's really good. I'm certainly almost certainly losing now. I mean, the last turn cycle of me flooding and them having multiple cheap things to play didn't work out great. Don't know how we close this game out. Yeah, it doesn't feel great. We trophied the first. This deck was bad. Like, Umari is tough to make work, but like I said, I've had good Umari decks, but it's like you need Naturalists and Symbiotes and Brushwags and Auracorns and Mana Sinks. Checkpoint Officer is good with Umari, but like this deck really just didn't come together. It ended up being a little light on cycling. Like, we didn't really get the power level. We didn't get the good mutates. Like, really, this deck just didn't come together. Yeah, it's going to be hard to sneak in lethal with Vulpikeet, given they have the Glimmer Bells. So we can't even, like, tap them with the Snare Tactician. But, what happens if we tap the 3/5? They untap the Bell. They have 4 blockers. It's just not even good for us, right? Hey, to be fair, the opponent's blue-green, double Parcel Beast, double Primal Empathy. Really nice deck here. Yeah, maybe we cycle into more cyclers, but we don't have very many. There's one Valiant Rescuer. We also have another Tactician, I think. So I think the hope now is that we draw the other Tactician, or we draw Vulpikeet or the other Cycler, and then we're able to sneak in that final 4 unexpectedly somehow. Primal Empathy is good if you're blue-green. You just play like 2 drops and 1 drops and draft a lower curve, and then you have the Empathy. I don't think I'm the one who said anything about Primal Empathy, good or bad, recently. Yeah, I don't think we can win. But it was a good game. Like I said, we lost 2 close 3-game matches to good decks. I mean, if I had drawn a couple of spells on those key turns instead of all these lands, I would have dumped more stuff out and probably won the game. Painting her picture on the wall? Yeah, I'll consider it. I don't play 24/7, but I do play off-stream quite a bit, too. They have 7 cards left. Yeah, I guess decking is a possible way to win. The problem is they have these Glimmer Bells. I don't know. I do the amount of streaming that I find fun, the amount of content making that I find fun, and I always find playing Magic fun. You're right, yeah, it's not optional. The problem, though, is these Glimmer Bells on tap, so I can't even lock them down with the cycling. Where do we put this counter? I don't think it matters a ton. So I guess our only routes to victory here involve Volpikeet and blocking this Glimmer Bell or something. I don't know. I don't think it matters. Like, I don't think I'm really going to be killing any of their creatures. But we're trying to decide where to put the Shovel counter. Thanks, Vadre. Appreciate that subscription. Thank you for the 14 months of support. I don't really need the ground blocker. They have 6 to my 6. I'm more interested in cycle and tap. Like, now I can cycle and tap this flyer. This isn't a bell, so at least I won't die this turn. I need them to draw, like, 1 more card and then they deck. They're going to kill me with no cards left in their deck next turn. I don't think I can actually stop that, but who knows? I didn't even get a Mammoth. I wanted them. Like I said, this deck really just didn't come together. It's just kind of a hodgepodge. And we still lost close 3-game matches to good decks. Right? How do I get them to search out 1 land? I'm down. Okay, you win. You've made your point, Tam. You've made your point. So we trophied the first draft with a 3-0. We 0-2 the second draft. Now we're on to draft number 3, or as I call it, Revenge Draft. I know I saw a Mammoth or 2, but I took much better cards, right? Oops. I don't want to play round 3 at 0-2. That's unnecessary. If we won that match, I would have played round 3. So, let's get out of here. I watched a little bit of the MJ documentary with my dad. Not much of it. I don't know. That kind of stuff to me, like, I love basketball and I'm going to watch it at some point or another. I feel like it's going to be just MJ's story, you know what I mean? Like, I would be a lot more interested in watching that if they made, like, 10 episodes, one of them from, you know, Phil Jackson's perspective and one from Scottie Pippen's perspective and one from MJ's perspective and so on. Like, I'm sure it's entertaining, but I feel like... No, I know, but I feel like basically... Yeah, like, there's no way... It's like if you made a documentary about the CFB house and you let, like, Luis, like, direct everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot... You're going to get a very different story than if you let, like, you know, me direct one episode and LSV direct one episode and, you know, Kibler direct one episode and, you know, Raptor direct one episode and so on, you know? Like, I know this show is about all the different, like, people and things and stuff. I feel like it's kind of like MJ's thing, though. We should do that. Thanks, I think, Salsa Shark. When I'm describing myself to non-Magic players and they ask me, so, like, you're saying, like, you're not, like, best of all time, like, you're not in contention for that, but you're, like, a Hall of Famer, and, like, you had a good career, like, who are you comparable to, or whatever? I usually say, like, I could see Pippen. I usually say, like, Charles Barkley, just because he's so outspoken and, like, kind of ridiculous. But, you know, just in terms of how good are you, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, like, Jordan, LeBron... But, like, obviously, like, I think I'm a pretty, like, established Hall of Famer or whatever. So, like, I usually go with something like that. And I usually say Charles Barkley just because he's famous for saying such outspoken, crazy things all the time and stuff. All right, so Gem Razor is good. Not an S tier broken rare, but it's a good card. Flame Spill's pretty close, I think. Mystic Subdual's fine removal. I always main it, but it's worse than Spill and Gem Razor. The commons aren't really that close to Spill and Gem Razor. So I think it's just, do we like Flame Spill or Gem Razor better between in this pack? I think Gem Razor's better. Red is definitely better than green, but if we do end up seeing the mutate stuff, this is a pretty powerful card. Like, sometimes it kills a pacifism or a capture sphere, and it's just ridiculous. Okay, so either way, I'd be second picking Shore Shark here. Shore Shark's just a massive tempo swing. It's one of the best uncommons. It's really good. It's great in blue-green mutate, but it would also be good in a blue-red spells deck. I'm not afraid of sharks. Some people might be, but I'm going to draft the sharks. I don't know why there's another shark here third. That seems a bit much. Maybe some people are forcing red-white cycling or whatever. But I'm a huge fan of Pouncing Shore Shark. Thank you, H91. Appreciate the subscription. Yeah, we are going to need a much bigger boat to not get our boat eaten by these shore sharks. Okay, so this pack doesn't have an obvious blue-green mutate card. There's nothing wrong with Mole and Mammoth, but they're not good. Wolverine is a really nice blue-red spells card. There's no blue card to take. Coilbug's pretty good if we go blue-black. It's a nice target to mutate onto. Stinger's fine, too, if we go, like, cycling, but I don't think we're trying to go that. I think Wolverine just makes the most sense. Blue-green, definitely an option, but this card's splashable anyway. Blue-red spells, certainly still an option. Since we have these shore sharks so early, we certainly know that if we do go blue-red spells, we'll prioritize non-humans to mutate onto. That said, even though Forbidden Friendship is excellent in blue-red spells, this pack makes me think we should look more towards blue-green mutate. Brushwag, Recluse, and Greathorn are all excellent cards in blue-green mutate. I think I'm going to go with the uncommon. It's the hardest one to replace. Easy Wingspan Mentor here. I'm a big fan of Wingspan Mentor. You can see we don't really have humans. It should be good in our deck. And then it also automatically pumps flyers, which we'll be taking. Green isn't a scam. We just have to see the good green cards. We have to see symbiotes. In my opinion, there's a best green common in Ram Through. It's good efficient removal. Then there's Symbiote and Naturalist, which are pretty close and both excellent. Then there's, like, Great Horn, which is good. So, like, we have to see, and Brushwag, which is good. Like, we have to see those good green commons. So, even though I'm looking blue-green, we don't know where the draft's going to end up. There's no green cards in this pack. No blue cards I care about, so we're going to grab a second Wolverine. Blue-red spells is an option. Blue-green mutate is an option. We don't have to make that decision this pick. We'll just grab Thieving Otter, which is going to be good in either deck. Turn 3 Otter. Turn 4, give it flying, hit you. Recluse, turn it into a 4-5, hit you. Shore Shark, bounce your creature, hit you. Otter's just going to be excellent, whether we go blue-red or blue-green. Ram Through, I mean, it's like a B or whatever. Like, it's not like a broken card or anything. It's just a good, solid, efficient removal spell. It's an instant removal that kills big things, which, like I said, is what I really like in this format. But it's situational. There are other instants that can blow you out. I don't think these cards super matter. If we go blue-green, we're pretty creature-heavy. Maybe we'll play Impulse in this deck. Sorry, I forgot we were on Big Ben. I really need to reset the scenes now that I don't go on Magic Online anymore. I apologize for that. I had 3 nice scenes set up so that I could just click once and, like, not block things and whatever. And then I started playing on Magic Online because I was sick of the bot drafts. And then they brought us these sweet human drafts on Arena, and I never reset the scenes. Yeah, I don't like Anticipate at all. I do like Forbidden Friendship a lot, though, if I do go blue-red. I'd say we're pretty 50-50 between blue-green and blue-red. We're 100% going to play blue. Well, if we go blue-red, we can play Obosh in the companion slot. All of our cards except Forbidden Friendship are currently odd. I mean, Forbidden Friendship's quite good in this deck with double Wolverine, double Shore Shark. We could also just play Obosh in our main deck if we end up with too many evens. But at the moment, we do have almost all odd cards from blue and red. Literally only a Friendship that's even. Gonna have to prioritize 1-drops pretty aggressively. But I don't mind the 1s if we end up with Obosh in the companion slot. I don't think we can look at Loris. We've got double Shore Shark. We're not going to be able to put that in the companion slot pretty much no matter what. This pack doesn't really have anything for blue, green, or red that we care about. Weaponize is something that could work out. Goriak's fine. I mean, if we don't even play Weaponize and we're all these good creatures... I mean, if we don't even play Friendship and we're all these good creatures, Weaponize is not great. I mean, it can be good with Obosh, but... I mean, I just don't even know if we're going to play any of these cards. I might take Blood Curdle in case we go blue-green. We already have a Whisperer. We could still just splash. These cards were just horrible for us. I didn't really want any of those. So now this is the opposite. I kind of want this whole pack. I mean, if we wanted to go blue-red blue-red odd, there's nothing really great for us, just like Frostful Ambush. Now we can pick up a Symbiote, which I like a lot. This Prodigy, which is pretty good. Hornbash Mentor should end up decent in our deck. This has Trample, plus we can take the 3/3s. I feel like blue-green mutate splash black is where we want to be right now with what we're seeing. I think I just want Symbiote. It's kind of crazy, but Symbiote's excellent, and we don't have 2s. I'll play Obosh off the black splash if I get the fixing. I won't if I won't, but I really think this is our best deck here. Well, just going to grab this Jungle Hollow now. We already have good black cards we want to splash, so That makes a lot of sense. Whoa, there's Symbiote and Starix. Can I take both of these? I really want... Starix is one of the best uncommons. Maybe number 2 to Zenith Flare. But we really need the early stuff to mutate onto. We already have great mutates. Starix is too good, though, right? Hopefully we'll get more... We'll be taking stuff to mutate onto very aggressively. I mean, I don't know if Symbiotes are going to come. I'd be happy with Brushwags, but now there's a Ram through. I mean, this is like... I mean, Glimmerbells are fine, too. I'll take, like, anything to mutate onto. Whoa, this pack's going extremely well. I guess we could go green, black, splash, blue also, if we want to play Obosh. Are most of our creatures odd? I mean, we're not gonna, if we play green, we can't put Obosh in the companion slot. It's still a good main deck card. Doubles the damage of a lot of these creatures. Well, I think either way, Symbiote is better or roughly as good as Mamba. It's pretty close. So for now, we don't have to decide. We'll take Symbiote. But I do think green, black, splash, blue is still an option also. Because then we get to play Obosh in the companion slot. And then we can, like, lose the Otter, which is a good card, but not that's it. So it's not that big of a deal. This is best of 3. We have enough playables. I'm going to grab Plummet for the sideboard. Again, if we do go green, black, splash, blue, Boot Nipper is a really nice creature to mutate onto. It's not good off the splash. Somehow this shifted, and now we're definitely going to play green, and we don't know whether we're going to play green, blue, splash, black, or green, black, splash, blue. I didn't really see this run out of this draft coming. Survivor's Bond. Do we have humans? A mentor that we might or might not play. Basically, no. So let's grab Deadeye. Well, I'm not going to play Obosh in the companion slot now, but I can play Obosh just in my deck. Most of my stuff is odd. I can't cut, like, 2 Symbiotes ram through Boot Nipper, plus, like, Gem Razor and stuff. Obosh would have been playable if we were blue-red spells. That's why I took it. It wasn't really playable if we played green. But you can just put it in your main, and it still doubles a lot of the power I have here. I think we just stick with the black-green plan. Bloodcurdle's the best card in this pack. Recluse and Bond are fine. There's no blue cards, as you can see. I mean, I wouldn't hate taking Recluse, but Bloodcurdle is just excellent removal. Ah, that's funny, yeah, because the viewer count is right over the sideboard. Over the next weekend, probably not tonight, but over the next weekend, I'll fix up the scenes. Now that I'm only on Arena, I can reset them all nicely. So what humans do we have? This card is really good with Naturalist, but we don't have any. So it's really not doing much for us. Not that anything in this pack is. If we go base green-blue, we want the Glimmerbell. We don't really want the Glimmerbell off the splash. But I guess black can still be made into a splash pretty easily as well. Like, so, I mean, we should prepare for still... Well, there's a pretty good early black card to take. Neutralize is good, too. There's none of the green stuff. I mean, Haunted Nightmare is excellent with double Bloodcurdle. We can just kill whatever we give Death Touch to. Don't think I need to splash Primal Empathy with this much power. I'm just going to grab Fertilid, which helps the splash. Fixing is pretty medium. These both produce white, so they don't actually help us. But I guess it's pretty much Partial Beast over nothing for our Sultai deck. I still don't know whether we're splashing black or blue or what. We're just basically pretty even between the 3 colors, but our green cards are the least splashable. Certainly could play green, blue, splash, black still. I actually like Titan's Nest. I just don't know that our mana's there to play it. Like, we don't have any Farfinders, Evolving Wilds. We just have 1 Jungle Hollow and a Fertilid now. So, I don't know what I'm doing. I guess we're seeing blue 2-drops and not black ones. And we did get that Parcel Beast. Guess I should plan for blue-green. Like, obviously splashing black. Can't use the Nightmare then. That's a little unfortunate, but that's the only real loss. Well, the Obosh. But it's not like it was going in the companion slot. Something like that looks okay. I don't know. The black might still be better than the blue. Like, I mean, well, we got the empathy back. That's nice. Whisper Squad's good if you have, like, multiples and ways to use the little bodies. Like, I'm not interested in this stack, but it's good in the black-white human stack. Gives you bodies to sack to mutual destruction. Obviously, it's a human, so if you have things that pump your humans, it's good. Probably want, like, one more forest. We have the Impulse to help fix. Certainly need 3 black sources, plus Fertilid, plus Impulse, so that looks okay. Oops. Stick in a Honey Mammoth and call it a day. Glimmer Bells are really good with the Wingspan Mentor because we can mentor something else and then they get pumped and they're nice cheap flyers to have out. Avian Oddity works well there too. We got the Empathy back to draw cards and the Beast, so that helps us splash a little bit. Plus we have Adventurer's Impulse and Fertilid, plus 3 sources. The black splash is pretty reasonable. Cavern Whisper and 2 Blood Curdles. Seems fine. Yeah, this draft is not where I expected it to end up. We weren't really seeing much green in pack 1 or 3, but we got incredible green in pack 2. I feel like, you know, it's hard to predict where it goes if I cut off red more in pack 1. But I guess we didn't really see red in pack 2, and I did pass a lot of red in pack 1. I was looking for blue-red spells, and we tabled the Forbidden Friendship. I mean, this deck's good. It was kind of a weird draft. For sure. From blue-green to blue-red to blue-green to green. We went from blue-green to blue-red to green-black back to blue-green. Very true. I mean, Fertilid's great with Mutate, and I have a lot of Mutate. It's also a good fixer and solid body. I mean, my power level's good. I have 2 Shore Sharks and the Starix. Kind of disappointed I didn't get to make the Haunted Nightmare and the Obosh work, but can't have it all, I guess, right? It's a pretty complex format. I mean, red-white cycling turn 1 Fox can be totally broken and on fun. Not that anybody actually runs into that ever. So I'm just passing the turn here so I can get a land. Then I can Starix up the Fertilid. I don't think we're going to win this game if we don't draw like a Blood Curdle. Yeah, I mean, turn 1 Fox out of the cycling deck is just busted. I mean, it's standard quality. Like I said, it feels like they pushed a lot of these cycling cards, like Fox and Zenith Flare, to be standard playable, which is fine, but then make them mythics and rares. Don't make them uncommons. Uncommons are supposed to be designed with limited in mind, first and foremost. I don't know how we can live or win, but whatever. I mean, 1 Cycler doesn't beat us, 2 does. Yeah, Zenith Flare should have been Mythic, and Flourishing Fox should have been Rare, and Tactician should have been Uncommon. That's mainly where they went wrong. They just made these cards too good for their rarity. Stinger and Healer are cool commons. Like, the red-white cycling deck, if they want to give it some common enablers, just Stinger and Healer are fine. And then, like, Marmoset and Tactician could be, like, uncommons, and, like, Fox and Rescuer could be rares, and Zenith Flare could be a mythic. Like, they just didn't go... They just made those cards too accessible. Turn 1 Fox, just... I mean, nothing we're going to say or do about that with most limited decks, unless we have the kill. And we have double Curdle. Ram through. So I think the Cycling 1 cards in conjunction with the enablers are an issue. But if you imagine those enablers basically didn't exist or were all rares and mythics, I don't think Cycling 1 is a problem. Like, pretend there were just no cycling deck. Like, pretend there was just none of any of the cycling enablers. I don't think the Cycling 1 is a problem. Frostville Ambush is a cool card. Vantasaur is a cool card. Startling Development's a cool card. Yes, Cycling 1 exacerbates that problem in the way that the London Mulligan exacerbated turn 1 Goose, turn 2 Oko. But the real problem here is Zenith Flare and Fox, not Cycling 1. Just like the real problem was Oko, one of the best cards ever printed, being in a 5-set standard, not the London Mulligan. Like, you gotta keep your eyes on the real enemy here, you know? There's no reason to tell WotC, like, hey, don't do 1-mana cycling again. What they need to not do again is Snare Tactician at common, Fox at uncommon, Zenith Flare at uncommon. Like, I would love for it to have more Frostville Ambushes and Startling Developments in every set. These are just cool cards. Vantasaurs and Lava Serpents. Well, Lava Serpent's a 2-mana cycler, but Vantasaur and Frostville Ambush and Startling Development and the Red Fight Spell. These are all sweet cards with Cycling 1. I agree, the off-color 1-mana cyclers exacerbate the problem. But I'm just saying, the real problem is that those enablers are too good. Well, I assume Siggy's still playing MTG. I don't really know. Did he say he was quitting or something? It was kind of a random question. I mean, it's important to me. Siggy's a friend, great player. Been a teammate of mine a lot, even though we're not really working together right now on anything. But unless he announced something new, I don't know. He's in Rivals League, I believe. I agree, Daron. Cycling 1 is space I want them to use. I think Cycling 1 is fine. I think Fox is the problem. Tactician at common is the problem. I have no problem with Cycling 1 existing. Cycling is kind of getting a bad rap because of other mistakes that they made here. Cycling 1 even is not like an inherent problem. Oh, I mean, I don't know if he's taking a break from streaming. I mean, I'm not really sure. I mean, you know, the streaming contracts weren't renewed, so a lot of the MPLers who streamed last year aren't streaming as much this year, I assume. Yeah, that maybe should have been Fertilid Swamp, that turn. I mean, on board it looked like a race I'm going to win, but of course I'm not, because Tactician dominates the board at common, and Fox and Wolverine are hitting for infinite. So let's say I play the Mammoth and go to 13. They have 6, 9, 11, 14. So I die to a cycler if I attack. My creatures are mostly bigger than theirs. I guess I'll just hope they don't have a lot of cyclers. I don't know. Thank you, Finnear. Appreciate the subscription. This is just silliness. I had a really good hand. I have a good deck. We're not even playing Magic. The cycling deck, when it gets there like this, is just so gross. If I kill Tactician, like, I don't even have blocks. Like, I understand, like, I mean, it's better if they have the cyclers, like, better than being dead. But if they didn't have the cyclers, I had decent blocks. If I kill Tactician and pass, what do I then do? I, like, trade my 4/4 for the Wolverine, and, like, the Fox is big, or I don't know. I think my opponent's deck was fishy. It's basically a standard deck. Am I participating on the 30th? What is on the 30th? I'm glad somebody caught that pun. Thought that was a good use of fishy there. See, that's the thing about clever puns, is most people don't get them. Whereas this is why LSV makes all these dumb puns, because then everybody gets them, you know? This is draft 3. We did 0-2 with the Omori, which is a tough companion to use, but again, we lost 2 close 3-game matches, and the draft was tough, and my deck didn't come out very well, Omori aside. This time, I think my deck is great. Like, this is a deck I think I could very easily have trophied with. I mean, Fishy had a busted red-white cycling deck, and I had good draws both games. So here, I'm going to mutate, because that gets me to a 5-5, which gets me past Divine Arrow. So the only way that this blows up in my face is if they have the uncommon Heartless Act, because they can do it in response to it getting the counter, and I get owned. But if they have Divine Arrow, the common, we're now past that. Oh yeah, I plan to play the Arena Open this weekend. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of IKO. I think they did a good job with Mutate, and I think outside of the cycling deck, cycling is cool and plays really well. But I agree, this format has some major flaws. I definitely agree. Companion is just totally busted, and the cycling deck is way too good. And it's just high power level. Like the lower power formats, like Theros and M20, think about this. In the past 4 sets, they've done 2 clear low powers and 2 clear high powers. M20 and Theros are low power sets. Throne of Eldraine and Ikoria are high power sets. Think about how much more fun it is to play in the low power sets than the high power sets. I don't know why people want Magic to be high power. Like, the higher power, the worse Magic is. Okay, I think if I Shore Shark here to a 5-4, yeah, this is just awesome for me. I can bounce the Garrison Cat, and then they're forced to chump block with the Crystalline Giant here, right? Because they're at 10, and I'm attacking for 10, and both my creatures are bigger than a 3-3, so they're literally just forced to chump block now. Death before dishonor. They're not going to chump block with a broken rare. Instead, they'll just take lethal. Thanks, Doc Reactions. Appreciate the subscription. You're welcome for the tips, and thank you for the support. That's what we do here. Eldraine was high power. It just had a lot of uncommon enabler build-arounds, Lucky Clover, the Mill deck, the Red Aggro deck, Adventurous Innkeeper. I mean, it's a couple formats ago. That's why I'm, like, digging up the cards from my head now. I haven't been thinking about it a lot. But it felt... I mean, it wasn't as high power as Ikoria. But if I rank those sets in terms of power level, I think Ikoria is the highest power of the 4. Throne is clearly the second. Theros probably third. M20 probably fourth. M20 was all grindy stuff, right? It was all about, like, Skeleton and Blade Brand. Like, I've never seen Sanitarium Skeleton be as good as it was in M20 because, like, people's decks just did so little and the creatures were just so small and ineffective and stuff. It was just grind. That's also why Bo was so good, because the creatures just didn't hit that hard that fast, and the format was just grind. Oh yeah, it's 3 to cast, 4 to mutate. So what do we want to do? We probably want to mutate this onto the symbiote. So I think for now we just put out our mentor. M20 was awesome. It was the best of those sets, and it was the lowest power level of them. But Theros was good, and Throne was good off of Arena. Throne was bad on Arena, where you were just forcing red aggro or forcing blue mill. But in person, Throne was actually a pretty good format. Me and Dangle went to FNM at Tate's a lot during Throne and just did like an IRL draft, just like one a week. And like it was pretty fun. Like online on Arena with the bots, it wasn't good. But I feel like R&D got kind of a bad rap for Throne that wasn't their fault because of the Arena bots. The Ikoria problems you can definitely blame R&D for. It's their job to have realized Companion is too busted, Cycling is too busted. Like, they deserve the blame for this. But the Throne problems, I think, weren't their fault. I think Throne was a pretty good set if you drafted it with humans, and a pretty bad set with the Arena bots. Yeah, and Ikoria is good minus Cycling and minus Companions. So that's the thing. It's like, but that's, you know, again, that's their job, right? Like, you got to realize, like, the Cycling deck is too good. It comes together almost every time. You just can't have all these mythic level cards at uncommon and rare and uncommon level cards at common, right? Like, the Cycling deck is just too good. And then Companions. If you get a Companion in the Companion slot, it's just such a big advantage from the get-go. Yes, if the Companions were mythic instead of rare, it would be better. Also, if they were gold instead of... So, like, if all the Companions... Let's just talk about one, like, Umori. If this was green-black 2 instead of green or black 2, then it would be really hard to mitigate its drawbacks of the Companions, because you have to play that exact 2 colors. You can't just play whatever's open every time. I mean, they really kind of went nuts with Cycling and Companion. Like, I really feel like, you know, there was the potential to have good things there, and they just kind of got ruined. So we don't have to counter Umori because we have Curdle for it. So I think I just add Boar to the board. Boar is a nice attacker. Next turn, they can't double block because Boar can only be blocked by one creature. Yeah, if Companions were mythic and color locked, and the rarity was adjusted on all of those cards we just talked about, on all of the Cycling stuff, I think that this format could be very good. I think they just punted Companion and Cycling. They just made them too good. Yeah, the thing is, I'm not against the concept of Companion, right? Like, in and of itself, it feels like a fun mechanic. Like, getting to have an extra card, like, it could be sweet if it was balanced. It just wasn't balanced. Okay, I don't mind this double block. I'll trade a 4-3 for a 4-5. This doesn't have Death Touch, right? Or a 2-3, whichever they prefer to trade with. It's a good trade for me either way. So now I think we do this. We don't have to ram through. We can always respond. So we'll see what they do. If they play Umari, we'll Blood Curdle it next turn. We'll end a turn ram through the Symbiote. If they go for a Mutate creature, we can probably let it resolve. Maybe really blow them out, unless it has 5 toughness, which most of them don't. Like, if they put Cavern Whisperer on it, we can ram through with the counter on the stack. The discard will still happen, but we will kill the Symbiote and the Whisperer. Okay, that's not a very effective card right now. We can attack with the Boar. If they block, we use Wingspan Mentor. And now we can just leave Convolute up. Ram through end of turn, Convolute if they play something. Umari's black or green. They have the mana for Umari. Just going to chill, leave Ram through up in case they have a nice reach creature, or Death Touch or something. Obviously, since they had Umari, they can't have any removal. So we're going to just try and ride this board to victory now. And that's the exact kind of creature I'm going to need to kill. I mean, the auto tapper was fine. I wasn't going to play this land anyway because they might have had Cavern Whisperer, and we really don't need to Blood Curdle right now. But what we will do is ram through Felidar, because that gives them multiple removal spells in play. Can't have that. Yeah, if they go for Dirge Bat, I can Curdle in response. They can have the bat to chump block, but they won't kill the boar, because I won't let it mutate. I'll kill whatever they're mutating it onto in response, and then they'll just get the bat. Oh, you're saying last turn they could have had bat. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should have played the land and had Curdle up to stop bat. You're right, actually. That was a minor mistake, but a mistake. I was thinking that I wanted to play around Cavern Whisperer because they couldn't have Blood Curdle or something like that. But you're right. I could have played around Dirge Bat by playing the land. Leech would never get me because I would have Blood Curdle available on my next turn. It's not like if they leech then I lose. They could leech like a counter off of the or 2 counters off of the 4/3, but it would only turn into a 2/1. It wouldn't die. Okay, we didn't really see flyers, so we're not bringing in Plummet. Yeah, it would lose the flying, but who cares? I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be able to repump it, but what I'm saying is, like, on my turn, I would have Curdle available anyway, so there's no need to have Curdle up on their turn to stop Leech. I'm not saying there's no answers in the format they could ever do. I'm saying, like, the debate was whether to play the land and have Curdle available, but then have to discard a good card to Cavern Whisper, or whether to hold the land and not have Curdle available, but then I'm protected from Cavern Whisper. And I'm saying, I thought the right play was to protect myself from Cavern Whisperer since they're an Umori deck, but somebody in the chat pointed out correctly that Dirge Bat is a card that having Blood Curdle available plays around. Thank you, Carla Todd. Appreciate that subscription. Thank you for 12 months of support. Hey, what's up, Papa Fro? We're doing all right. We haven't really been sick at all. Like, I had a little cold in March. Obviously, no clue what it was. But other than that, we're healthy. And we're both kind of indoor kids and introverted. Staying in isn't really that bad for us. How are you doing? Is everybody okay in Virginia? Well, they could put out a blocker, too. I didn't want them to, like, whisper the Curdle out of my hand, and then they, like, put out some little reach blocker or something. I mean, again, we were in a good position either way. Yes, you want your creatures to have interaction when you have Umari. That's big. When I've had good Umari decks that worked, that's what I drafted. I drafted a lot of Naturalists and Symbiotes and Honey Mammoths and Oricorns and Chittering Harvesters. That's good to hear. Very fortunate for those who can work from home during this time period. That's obviously like the main thing for a lot of people. So I think I'm just going to block. I don't want to take 2 a turn indefinitely, and that's something that could stop bigger and better creatures. Of course, we'll take Symbiote. We already have plenty of lands, more than we want. Is this Symbiote, right? Not Symbiote. Somebody was posting right away about how, like, stay inside and play video games and never leave your house. Introverts, Magic players, whatever. We've been preparing for this our entire lives. But in all seriousness, like, you know, Rach visited her family one week, and, like, I was home alone. And normally I'm good. Like I said, I'm pretty introverted. I don't need a lot. I go out and meet a friend for lunch, you know, go to the casino on a Friday night to play poker. I'm good. But with not leaving the house and having Rachel gone for the week, It was kind of tough, just like literally being completely alone for like a week straight, basically with zero human interaction. So, my heart really goes out to anybody out there who's struggling. I know a lot of people live alone, not with their significant other. If you don't live with your friends or with your family or with your significant others and you're just actually alone during this, the isolation can be real. Don't ask me why I played that pre-combat, since it made no difference. I mean, it was right to mentor the Shore Shark, and I doubt they want a chump block here. Yeah, and if you're not talking to them or anything because of COVID, you're not, like, stopping to have conversations and stuff. It's like seeing somebody when you go to the supermarket, you're not really interacting with them. Yeah, that's true. You can always, Papa Fro makes a good point. We are really lucky that, look, this is a horrible thing, but if it was going to happen, that it happened now and not 20 years ago before, like, high-speed internet, because social isolation 20 years ago would have been much tougher. Now it's true, you can Zoom call and FaceTime and whatever, all your friends and so on, so. And you've got me. You've got me streaming games and hanging out from home. And WotC, for the past couple months, gave us that 24/7 Channel Fireball stream with the weekend Magic Online fests. It is true that there is a lot of human-to-human real interaction you can do from home now via FaceTime and stuff like that and streams and all of this. It's not literally just flipping on a TV and not getting real interaction. Obviously, what is a stream? It's a live interactive television show. Like, this is a television show, except you also can just talk to me and talk to each other and stuff. It's like a live interactive television show. I know it's been great for me, too. Like I said, because that's how I feel about it. I feel like I'm talking to you. I'm interacting with all of you. Shoe on head or pre-recorded. I'm pretty sure reading it live covers me just the same as putting the shoe on the head, right? Unless you just really want to see a shoe on my head. I just have to pay the actors to look good, right? I got to keep my brand up, I got to have winning days every day. Some days are better than other, like that 0-2 kind of stung, but we're still going to finish 5-3 today. That's okay. But imagine if I didn't pay the actors what my records would look like. So I don't want to trade a 6-6 for a 2-1 Death Touch. I think we just have to chill for now. If I draw a Swamp, I can kill the Death Toucher and start attacking again. Haven't used too much. Oh, congratulations, Skinsoul, and thank you for the feedback. Okay, so that's an interesting draw. Oh, no, it doesn't really work, because if we Recluse the Mentor, I would have 2 good threats. That would be fine. But I'm not going to Recluse Honey Mammoth. That doesn't help me. Honey Mammoth's already giant. So, where does that leave us? I have Symbiotes, but I'm just missing out on, like, 2 life and a counter that I don't super need. I'm not sure if I play the Recluse or hold it. I don't have an attack or block on board even if I play it. But let's say I draw Swamp for Blood Curdle. I can, like, Menace it up, but it's still not really going to attack past 2 of these 3. And Honey Mammoth can. So I think the Recluse doesn't really do anything in play right now. So I'm just going to hold it. Not really sure what you're talking about, Lance Lost again. I hope you find what you're looking for, though. Right, Mentor is a human, so I can't put Recluse on it. Oh, my bad. Well, you're not supposed to tell them that in this chat. Yeah, come on now. What kind of a paid actor are you? Tighten up. So how big is Brushwag? 7/7? So I guess I can just double block it. I mean, I could get wrecked here, but I can't really race taking 7 a turn, and I don't care. I'll trade Honey Mammoth for it. That's fine. So if I draw the Swamp, if I Recluse the Otter, it becomes a 4/5, and then I can Curdle the Nipper, but they still just double block it. So really, we're in this for the long haul. So yeah, I need to block the Brushwag because this game's going nowhere fast. They took Umari out of the companion slot, but they probably don't have a lot of spells because they did draft an Umari deck. I do need this in play now, I think. Do I put it on the Otter or do I put it by itself? I think I want it on the Otter. No, I think I want it by itself. Because I can't stack up all on one creature. And I've got Sharks, I've got Whisper, I've got a lot of Mutate to put on the Otter. Yeah, I didn't really want to draw more Forests, but soon we'll draw Swamps or Spells. I mean, there's not too many more Forests and Islands in this deck. We do have some good draws. Primal Empathy is a good draw. If they attack with that, I can, like, triple block. Starix is a good draw, yeah. I wonder what they have. If I get to trade Mentor for Boot Nipper, I'm really happy about that. I mean, the life totals are 26-10. I could find out what's up. Like, if I do just that... Like, if they have nothing, this is the block I want. If, I wouldn't mind double blocking and trading Otter for Bushmeat or something, but I assume they're going to have some kind of a trick. I do have 26 life, so I can spend a little life here and find out what's going on. Because, I mean, now I get rid of the Death Toucher. That's a pretty big deal for me. I wish I had drawn the on-tap land pretty badly, because they might have, like, Back for More on the Brushwag or something like that. But I'm going to attack and find out. Feels like they should have something, but, I mean... My creatures in play aren't particularly valuable. Let's see what they're up to. I'm not a huge meat guy. Like, I like meat. Like, I like steak. I like chicken, whatever. But my favorite foods are carbs. Like, I love pizza and cookies a lot more than I like steak and lobster or whatever. Like, I'm much more of, like, you know, into, like, carbs and rich carbs than I am into meat and rich meat. Okay, so clearly we play this land, and that's all we can do because we don't have any black sources. Yeah, they probably should have blocked the Otter and not let me get an extra card. Like I said, like pizza and cookies, like stuff like that. Nice bread, like... Okay, we're not taking 15 back, and Menace means they can't block the Otter, so this turn looks pretty straightforward. Let's try and Whisper up the Otter. I mean, their play wasn't that bad. The only thing they did wrong, they were hoping I would make like a double block or something where they would get to finish something off with Deadeye. And then the only thing they really did wrong was they should have blocked Otter. If they blocked Otter and not Recluse, it would have been fine. Similarly, I'm not saying they shouldn't have pacified the Otter, but if I don't mutate onto it, what is Otter doing against a 3/5, a 2/4, and a 2/4? I'm not saying they've played perfectly, but some of this is just their plays not working out based on me having things they have no reason to put me on. That, and listen, they're paid actors. Take it easy. But no, seriously, I'm not saying their play were perfect, but some of it was just not working out. Like holding pacifism against a 2/2 when you have a 2/4, a 2/4, and a 3/5 out, that's not unreasonable. They probably should have sandbagged some land at some point to protect the pacifism. But, like, there's absolutely no need for them to pacify the Otter. I mean, I might play an 11/11 trample Green Godzilla or something. Like, they did not need to pacify the Otter there. They probably should have sandbagged a land at some point or something like that. Okay, so let's see. I think I'd rather Blood Curdle and on-tap Poacher, right? If they tap the other Poacher to sack it, they don't have any blockers. If they let it die, they're dead. If I Curdle that, I kill a 4/6 instead of a Poacher. They get an extra 2 life, and they get a card now that they can play instead of if I do it during their end step. So yeah, I'm going to take the damage here. Yeah, it already has Menace. I'm aware of that, but I could let them double block. If it wasn't an Otter, I would probably let them double block. But I think if I Blood Curdle a Poacher end a turn here, that works out really well, because then I get to connect with this, draw another card, and then I can use the other Poacher, the Curdle, while the previous Poacher is tapped. If I killed a Poacher on my last turn, they had a Poacher up. I guess I could have killed the on-tap Poacher, but I didn't know they were going to make this bigger and more relevant. Similar to their play with Pacifism, like, I mean, I could have maybe played slightly different with Perfect Information, but I didn't really know what was going to happen. I think now I just want to ram through the Poacher. I can hold Curdle in case they play something bigger. See what they have. Because they're at 4, this is lethal. If they play a blocker, I can Blood Curdle and attack for the win. If they play 2 blockers, then they might attack, but if I play the Curdle, they might not. Thanks for that subscription, Raz. Really appreciate the support. Hey, man, if you subscribe for long enough that you run out of witty things to say, I consider that a win in and of itself. So we went 3-0, 2-1, and 0-2. So yeah, we went like 5-3. Not a great day. Tough second draft, really. This deck was great. Like, I would take this deck, even though we only 2-1'd, anytime. The first deck was broken. This deck was great, too, though. We just lost to a really good red-white cycling deck that had really good draws. Hopefully, tomorrow we can do a little better. But, you know, sometimes you're going to run into those nut cycling decks, or sometimes your deck just doesn't get there.